Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the evil that men do. Father God, I pray and ask that you help me to have mercy on others the same way I would want you to have mercy on me. Father God, I also ask that you help me to be quick to forgive and slow to get angry. Amen, amen, amen. These young dudes out here don't respect shit until you put the barrel in their ear and let the text spit. I just might catch a case on my next hit, remove their whole face on some special effect shit. So show respect, Drake, or I'ma have a flashback. Digging through the dresser like fuck it, where my mask at? The mash back with the banger and damage shit and say fuck everything I learned in anger management. Hop back on some east side cannon shit and push a nigga's top back when I let the cannon spit. Start planning shit, premeditation. I'm in love with the streets again, rededication. Casket or cremation when I shoot you down. I was built for the smoke like a hookah lounge. I keep big shit that sound like a bazooka sound, and I shoot quicker than ain't gotta be a hoop around. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride, 3 straps, a ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with the 3 straps, a ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Gun on me, it ain't never for show, homie. I'm far from a bully, but I'm never a hoe. Get out of line, my Beretta will blow. Real talk, we can take the beef wherever we go. I bring it to your front door like I'm Uber Eats. I guarantee you listen up when this Ruger speaks. Plus I maneuver through these streets like a ghost, and I'm handy with the heat. I cook a nigga like a roast. On me, homie, this is not a boast. I will still come through, boy, and stop a nigga's post. Play him close, man, Eric will ease it. Quickly off the waistband, man, and Eric will squeeze it. Leave you niggas laid out dead or paraplegic. Niggas playing in these streets while I'm very strategic. I come to your house dressed like the gas man. Shoot you 9 times, leave you stretched by the trash can. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps, a ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps, a ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. I don't put shit on Facebook, I just holler in person. Put the pistol in your mouth while you're hollering in cursing. All that shit you kept rehearsing and put on your live, got your clap with the big 4-5. You bitch nigga, if you tell me to pull up, I'ma do that. That nigga who was whooping first nigga that I shoot at. Ski mask on my face, bystanders be like, who that? I ain't with the talking, bitch, boy, I thought you knew that. Leave his brains where my shoe at and bounce like I'm on a trampoline. Leave you laid out, nigga, like you camping on the scene. If you want something sweet, grab a peach or tangerine. Niggas won't smoke, well fuck it, I'ma let them handle steam. AR with the beam, you see the red dot? We tug on this trigger, nigga, it'll make your head pop. Blood pouring down to your shoes, call it Red Sox. Your brains hanging all over your shoulders like some dreadlocks. Expect the gang of dead off if they ever cross the line. The Lord said in the Bible, oh, revenge is mine. So I'm just trying to find a righteous path between the two. Before I lose control and do the shit I used to do. This being humble shit is new. I'm trying to turn the other cheek, but I ain't never been a bitch, so watch your mouth when you speak. Your mercy's what I seek, so I pray on bended knees. Don't let me get the K with the extended clip and squeeze. Lord, please. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps, a ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps. Dear God, please don't let me relapse and return to the G-Ride with 3 straps, a ski mask with the case, squeezing keys apps, spraying everything from a nigga's brain to his kneecaps.
All right, y'all. All right, y'all. That is my brother Eric, 16tolife.com. You can go and check him out. Go over to his website, his webpage over here on YouTube. Check him out.
And funny generated dude, over $400,000 in revenue last year with no.
Funny dude. Sorry about that, y'all. Very funny dude. Very, very, very funny dude. He's also got merchandise gear and more music. He's got more music over there. And I asked him about a week ago to make me a song, so hopefully he'll have time to do that. Anyway, how's everybody on this Tuesday? I'm good. I'm blessed. Well, let me put it like this. Like I was telling the truth is never favored. Blessed is about the best way I can put it. I mean, if I had to pick a word in English, I guess that's the best. That's the closest thing to what I could say God has done for me in English. Blessed, so that the average person that speaks English could understand, have a perception of what I'm saying, of what I'm talking about. Not to make it all complicated, but man, I'm blessed, man. I'm blessed. I got people that love me. I love myself. I'm thankful that God gave me the time and the wherewithal to get my mind back right, man, because I was a lunatic at one point in my life. So shout out to the Lord of the universe. Okay. We got some real serious issues to talk about. Real serious issues, man. I had a whole another show planned, but today I ran across a young man that literally threw his life away. When I say threw his life away, this young man literally threw his life away. I don't know if you guys are familiar with a young man named Kaylon Walker. And this young man, when I say, man, he had everything going for him. He had everything going for him. He had movie deals. He had a record deal. He had a ghostwriting deal. I mean, this guy, 19 years old, had everything in front of him. Everything in front of him. Threw it all away, flushed it all down the toilet. Why, you ask? Why, Clarence? Why? How did he flush all of this stuff down the toilet? Well, let me see. I'm going to show you what gets every man. What is the one thing that's undefeated? What is the one thing that's undefeated in this world? Sex. Sex is the one thing that is undefeated. Nobody has overthrown sex. Brother Rico, you in the house?
Sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm coming in on CP time.
That's all right, bro.
Give me a sec. I'm getting myself together. Go ahead. I'm listening.
Okay, yeah, man. So I'm talking about this cat, Kaylon Walker. Kaylon Walker, and young man had such a bright future.
Okay.
I don't know if you heard of this man. Have you heard of him, Rico?
I heard it, but I don't know what the story is. And I heard because I guess his sister
I'm going to give you the short version of what happened. Then we're going to look at a couple of the clips.
Okay.
So what happened was he was trying to, he's a 19-year-old young man, and he wants to have, casual sex with lots of relations, women, right?
With what?
With lots of different women.
Okay.
So he came up with this, just like Fresh and Fit, man. They have their little setup to where they can invite women down there to their little setup, and they pop off on a couple of them, I guess, every once in a while, right? Well, he had a little his little setup. His setup was, I'm a photographer. I'm in the business. I'm a photographer. Basically, the Hugh Hefner setup. I'm a photographer. I'm in the business. My name is out there. And, if you let me set you up, not only am I going to take your pictures, but I'm going to pass them on to the right people because I'm in the business, right?
Okay.
He had just did the movie Superfly. He did a movie with Halle Berry on Netflix.
Oh, he really did do all this?
Yeah, man. I mean,
he was a young actor.
He also had a contract with I think I forgot which is it TDE or one of them rap groups rap companies where to do ghostwriting, write raps for rappers, right?
Okay.
He had that contract. Plus, he had his own music contract. I mean, guy was just taking off. And what happened was, so anyway, he was doing this whole photography thing. Hey, he would hit the IG models up. He was hitting up the IG models, saying, "Oh man, well, if you come over to my place, I'll put the whole package together for you." Right? Basic Hollywood story. I'm a producer and what. So that's so common out here in LA, where dudes will be like, yeah, I'm hooked in with this and that. I'm hooked up with these rappers. I'm hooked up with this organization, whatever. Let me take a picture and package you up, and then I'll pass it on to the higher ups, right? But you got to do a little quid pro quo, right? You got to do a little,
now let me taste the goods.
Yeah, you got to do a little quid pro quo, right? And so that's what he was doing, man. But unfortunately, here's the crux of the matter, Rico. Here's the crux of the matter. These women they were never giving him consent, right? One in particular was saying how she was literally frozen.
I'm already saying to myself, I can see all the fucked up stupidity that he did, but go ahead.
Okay, so she was frozen. She didn't move because basically, okay, so this one particular chick said, hey, I came to his house. I went to his house and we did the shoot. And so we, but I started feeling uncomfortable. And he saw that. So he decided, hey, why don't I just take you home? Right. So he got in the car and, he unlocked the car when they walked down to the parking garage. And instead of getting in the front seat, the chick was so uncomfortable, she got in the back seat. So he climbed over from the front seat, the driver's seat, over into the back seat and jumped on her, man. Right?
Okay. So she said, he's a graper.
Yeah, man.
He's a graper.
So check this out, Rico. So she said, hey, they said, well, why you didn't say anything? She said, I just wanted to get out of there alive. You know what I mean? I just want to get out of there alive. So here's the crux of the situation. He thought because these people weren't saying anything that they were giving consent. Follow?
Nope. Yeah, I follow you.
Yeah. So the girl said, I never gave him consent. We never had consensual sex. I was so scared. I couldn't move.
So he never had no text. He never had nothing in advance saying, hey, which it's just dumb. No. Just dumb on every fucking level.
19 years old.
Yeah. And I don't know why he would run a racket like that when, based on all the stuff you said he had going for him, hell, he should have been beating them off.
But see,
except for the fact that I think the problem is, like a lot of these young guys, everybody want to go for these IG type looking chicks. And you got to realize, don't confuse IG with OnlyFans. Now, I'll admit OnlyFans, they probably are for sale. Every good looking woman on IG just don't carry themselves that way. So you can't, I think people are making that assumption that, believe me, I look too. But, 2022, this shit shouldn't still be happening. But if it is, it's hard for me to feel sorry in 2022.
Well, see, here's the thing, Rico. Who's teaching these young guys that, and shout out to Jay Takashi. We see you out there, young lion.
Evidently, no damn body.
That's what I'm saying, Rico. Nobody's teaching these young dudes.
But here's the thing, though, Clarence. In 2022, these young guys got access to the same damn information that you and I got access to. So, if it was 10 years ago, I could say maybe. But with all the number of cases like this that have been occurring in the media over the last 3 to 5 years, unless the kid was on Mars, he should have known better.
No, Rico, no. They don't know no better. If they have been trained, they don't know no better. You don't come out of the womb knowing how to do right.
No, I'm talking about I'm talking about all the instances, all of the public instances of guys doing the exact same shit that he did and ending up incarcerated for it. Now, I ain't talking about the womb. I'm talking about, motherfucker, you can see what's happening on TV, what's all of. So I'm like I'm saying is this what you described. I'm like, okay, case number 135. Did this motherfucker not see the first 134?
No, Rico, he's 19 years old.
But I'm saying that these cases are public, Clarence.
I know.
They're all over social media. They're all in the news.
Rico.
That's all I'm saying.
Rico, take your brain back 1,000 years when you were 19 years old. Bro.
Okay.
Did you have any sense back then?
No, I didn't have any sense.
Even if you saw,
then that I can accept that premise that even though he is aware of it, he still here's the problem with this is what the 19-year-olds are. This is what I see as the problem. They're saying, not me, I'm better than that. I can outsmart everything.
There you go.
That's what it is. So it's not like the kid wasn't aware of the shit. They just think they smarter than everybody else. And they're going to outsmart the system. And you're fucking not. You're not. And that's what I kind of thought too at 19. You old, they ain't gonna get me. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I've had my kids do that. I was like, all right, motherfucker, I'm gonna tell you. Right. I told my kids not to do things at 19 that they did because they just thought they were smarter.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's why I sit there and said it's hard for me I don't think the kid didn't know what he was doing was wrong. He just might have thought, I'm so good, I'm so smart, they not gonna get me. And they got your ass.
Yeah, I think what he thought, I think he thought like that. Okay, yeah, I think he thought that he was smarter than everybody, definitely. Yep. And he thought, hey, because this is what he did, Rico. He said, hey, I got to give it to him. He had a good try. What he said was, hey, I'm this shy guy. I don't know how to talk to women, but I'm this rap. I'm supposed to be this really heavy rap dude, and I haven't been with a lot of women, so I don't want to lie and say I haven't been with a lot of women. I want to be with a lot of women. So what he was doing was offering them money. He was saying, hey, I'll pay you for the, for the kitty cat. I'll pay you for it. You know what I mean? And evidently, he wasn't paying enough in most cases. Right?
Well, I mean, did money exchange hands? If money exchange hands,
I don't believe so.
We good.
I don't believe so.
Then there you go. That's where you fucked up. See, he should have made sure money exchanged hands prior to the sex act, and there you go.
But still, Rico, you can still ARP somebody even if you exchange the money.
Sure you can, but at least you would have a more valid fight. Absolutely.
All
because
right.
If they say no, stop, whatever, you're supposed to do it, but you would have a more, I don't think too many people I don't think too many women, unless you really ARP someone, I ain't never seen no hoe press charges. Okay. Unless you really ARPed her. Unless you really did it. But
or you got a lot of money.
As far as you shorted her, right, but I'm saying, as far as you shorten her on the deal, they're in the business of selling tail. So they ain't got no shame about that.
That would ruin their business, right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Right, exactly.
Right,
So that's why I said it's not foolproof. The only thing that's foolproof is to get video evidence. And is he not even saying that they gave consent? Or did he go up there and say, well, I thought, and then you fucked up right there. See, now
no, he's saying they lying, Rico. He's saying they all lying.
So he's saying they gave consent.
22 of them. It's 22 of them.
22 and they don't know each other?
Well, most of them don't know.
Oh, okay. That's no.
So it's 22 of them saying that.
And he looked like me and you.
Of course.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Again, he thought he was smarter than everybody else.
But
he's going to learn today.
That's what he was doing, brother. That's what he was doing. He was like, hey, I'm smart. I can do this. Hey, it's working. I was talking to my wife about this, and she was saying, yeah, I don't understand why the dude did that. If he got money, he could just go, probably have, like you said, coming and going.
And that's the disappointing part about it, Clarence. It's one thing if the boy didn't have shit going on. That would be one thing. But here it is, you telling me, you describing a young, successful mover and shaker And I don't want to hear all the bullshit about, oh, they just trying to set him up, trying to tear down another black man down. Motherfucker tore himself down.
That's what but Rico, that was his defense. That's his defense is they trying to tear a black man down.
Of course. I mean, case number 135. But you know what I'm saying? But he don't want to take no culpability for putting himself in that position. No, I don't want to hear it. All 22 of them was at your house, right? None of them broke in. Okay. Okay.
Rico,
yeah, it's all their fault.
Rico, he's facing 150 years in prison, brother.
22 cases of art? That ain't enough.
150 cases.
And I guarantee you this, but before everybody play the race card, because I know they will, what was the race of his victims? Probably predominantly look like us.
You're right.
Okay, so before they go run with the race card, think about them fucking girls. Because if it was my daughter, he wouldn't see the inside of a prison. That's all I'm saying. Before we do that, if all of them didn't look like us, I bet you most of them did.
Yeah.
See, and then we'll sit around and say, ain't no men doing this. And the fuck out of here. He got 22 bodies on him.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
He got 22 bodies on him.
Yeah. But so I want you to hear how he's defending himself.
Huh?
I want you to hear how he's defending himself, man.
Okay.
We're gonna look at a video from what is this? Shout out to Music Executives TV. Shout out to Music Executives TV. And
this guy was in movies and everything else. Come on.
Man, he had it all, brother. He literally had the whole world in the palm of his hands, man. And,
yeah, I know.
Threw it all away. All right, so let's take a look at this.
Okay, we request you. Give me 1 second. Let's see if we could request you. Because I do believe that this is Kaylin right here, y'all. Kaylin is actually in the room.
I thought that was him. I was like, he sound like he like boys.
Shout out to Brother Dale.
Is this him? I just added you, King. Oh, man. We have the man, the myth himself in the building. Kayla K.R. Walker. Let's get into it. What's this face? What's this face?
Don't let it go too long,
Clarence. I mean, listen, you tell me. Music Exclusive just got the drop. We just got this.
You on mute, Clarence?
What'd you say?
I said you was on mute. Just and then make sure you break it up every minute or so.
Oh, okay.
So we don't get a strike.
Gotcha.
So go ahead.
We just got this leak, honey. Okay, but
okay. I've been in jail for 2.5 years over somebody lying on me. I've been in jail for 2.5 years off of a person saying something happened that did not happen, and I'm locked in a cage underground for 2.5 years. My acting career, gone. My music career, gone. And the thing that pissed me off so much is all these blog sites ran with a fake story. But if you looked up Google and looked up my name and typed in these type of what you guys discovered, the pictures are on Google from 2017.
So let's talk about these pictures that actually were just leaked. So basically what you're saying is the woman that
All right, Rico, what you think so far, man? You getting a kind of idea of how basically same typical young guy, you know, I know it all. You can't tell me nothing. I know it all, right?
Yeah, but
I'm gonna talk my way out of this one.
Yeah,
right?
I'm trying to understand this. I've been in jail for 2.5 years. And how the fuck is he out if these are the same charges?
Okay, so what happened was they picked him up once, right?
Mm-hmm.
They had him in jail on $1 million bond. That's the one where he spent all that time in the jail. I think that's the one where he spent the 2 years. They finally got that one reduced.
Okay.
Okay, and they got that one reduced down to I think 400,000 or something like that. Then so he bonded out. Then they got the other victims came forward.
Oh, okay. So that was okay. So that was
they picked him up again, and then that bill was like $4 million.
Okay.
Okay.
So he got picked up since this.
I can't see what the date of this is.
Is he in jail now?
He's in jail now.
Okay, so they must have
already
been convicted. Other victims came
He's
forward.
been convicted. He's already convicted. He's a convicted serial rapist. Rapist, I should say. He's convicted. But I'm trying to show how he in the beginning was trying to say all these people were lying against him.
Sure.
See, this is a cautionary tale for these young guys that got stuff going on, and they get so caught up in trying to make whatever they want to make happen, they don't realize, hey, especially when you're dealing with women, you got to watch your step. You got to watch your step. And just because a woman ain't coming out saying, hey, I don't want you to do this. If she haven't gave you consent, she haven't gave you consent.
Fact.
And even if she give you consent, once she remove her consent, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? This guy didn't. That's my point. He didn't have nobody because he didn't have no dad. So it was
bottom line is his motherfucking ass. I'm not even gonna say he didn't have a dad. He one of them motherfuckers. I'm telling you, classic example. I'm smarter than everybody else.
Right. Absolutely.
So even if someone did tell him that, so before I throw his daddy under the bus, who may have told him, don't do this stupid shit, he looks like the type of motherfucker that you tell not to do something, that's going to do it anyway, because I'm smarter than everybody else. That's all I'm saying.
And then cry when it don't work, they're going to cry,
exactly.
right?
Exactly.
All right, brother. So let's take a little another look at it.
Yep.
Trial. The thing I want to make clear to everybody, I see a lot of people telling me to stop talking and hide and be quiet. I'm not built that way.
Like your lawyers?
Wait, stop. Don't skip this video because
like
I've got great news for you and your hair. If you are tired of losing.
All right.
What you say, Rico?
Like if people telling him to be quiet and stop talking, like his lawyers?
Yeah.
But you know, he ain't built. See, already, I'm smarter than them. I'm smarter than them. What is it your lawyers are? Shut the fuck up and don't say nothing. But he's saying, I'm smarter than them.
Right.
I'm smarter than them. You know who else? Bill Cosby. I'm smarter than them. R. Kelly. I'm smarter than them. Keep talking, motherfucker. Keep talking.
Yeah, that's all they're doing is let them talk.
Keep showing us all that law experience you got on the streets. Go ahead, keep talking. That's all it is.
Man. Thank you, Daryl. Rorschach says, Rico is a good judge of character. He is. I don't know Rorschach.
I'm good enough.
He's definitely
when I'm sober anyway.
Definitely a good judge of character. The arrogance is oozing from this dummy. Hate ninjas like this dude. Yeah, Rorschach, you're a young guy. Be smart. Stay smart out there, brother. Don't get involved in nothing like this, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got your whole life ahead of you. This dude literally had millions of dollars sitting in front of him, man, and he threw it all away over some tail.
And that's what's crazy.
He threw it all away, away.
And that's what's crazy and heartbreaking because, you know, you see a young brother like that, could have had the world in his hands, and just like I said, over a sense of arrogance, you know, he threw away an opportunity. And unfortunately, the next time the people in the industry, whoever he was working with, would be a little bit more hesitant to give another young brother the opportunities they gave him.
Yeah.
You know, you make them hesitate. I'm not saying that they will never do it, but they're gonna be like, all right, look at this little nigga twice.
Yeah.
And that's what they do. You know, they don't put that same.
Well, can you blame them, Rico? Can you blame them?
No, but I'm saying they don't put that same level of scrutiny on white people. But we know, and I know they do on us. So whenever you're given an opportunity to succeed at something, you need to make the best of it for yourself first and for anybody who looks like you that may come after you.
Yeah.
It's twofold.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, this dude just, man, I mean.
But now he in jail making pennies a day when he could have been making thousands a day.
Man, dude, literally had
cry me a fucking river.
Millions of dollars he had in the palm of his hands, man. Yeah. Millions of dollars, man.
Because he was in that remake of Superfly. I didn't think it was as good as the original, but it wasn't
no. He was in the remake, but I mean, you know, you got to start somewhere, Rico, right?
You know, one other young brother in Hollywood that also ended up in trouble with some sex cases is the guy that played as Eazy-E in
yeah, man.
Straight Outta Compton.
Maybe we'll do that one after this. Yeah, that's
exact
a whole,
same brother.
That is a whole
he's not
another
in jail.
One,
he's not in jail, but he had a lot of groping cases on him in Hollywood, and he was also in The Shot. Remember they kicked him out of The Shot?
He was in The Shot.
He had a huge,
he got kicked off of that, right?
Huge. He was in the Kong Skull Island. He was in, like I said, Straight Outta Compton. He played Eazy-E's character. He was in The Shot, 3-4.
But he got kicked off The Shot.
Yeah, he got kicked out of, and nobody really, and he's a great actor. That's the crazy part about it. He's talented.
Ain't nobody messing with him no more.
Right.
Ain't nobody gonna mess with him no more. Just like this dude. Saying. But this dude is dead. I mean, he ain't even gonna hit the bricks. He probably gonna have to do at least 40 years just to even think about parole, man. I mean,
and he got to do it in PC.
Oh man, dude, this dude.
Look at what he's in jail for. They gonna get that paperwork.
Oh man, dude.
22 cases? Oh yeah.
Dude,
put a wig on you. You know what I'm saying?
This dude right here is in
California too. That's the last state I want to do time in is California.
Man,
California and Texas? Oh hell no.
Man, Arizona too, brother. Yeah, those three. You don't want to do time there, man.
Send me to Georgia, Mississippi. I'm not trying to do no time in California penal system, Texas.
But check this out, Rico. Imagine having millions of dollars in the palm of your hand, man, and then just watching it go down the drain. And you know you're gonna, because I think he got sentenced to 100 years. I think he got 100 years to life, right? So he's probably gonna have to do at least what, 60%? Well, no, it's a state. This is a state. This is a state case, so he probably gonna have to do at least 50% of that, right?
At least.
Good behavior. They might cut it down to 40, but that's 40 years.
He got to be a hell of a model prisoner.
Well, ain't gonna be no women in there. He's gonna be just like child.
No, I said he got to be a hell of a model. Not even just women, like no infractions, no this, no that.
But that's what I'm saying. They just like the child molesters. They parole early because there's no children there.
No, not even just so much that. I'm saying he has to be a model prisoner. I mean, like doing his time incarcerated, he can't get no drug charges. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, this dude.
But I'm saying, a lot of times people will go in, and if you didn't have a habit before, some people, I've known people who picked up a habit in prison.
But this dude is soft like Jello, man. I don't see him messing with nobody over there.
Somebody gonna be messing with him.
Yeah, that's what he might have to.
He about to get
like you said, they might have to keep him in, PC, man. So yeah, because
let's keep it rolling.
Oh yeah, let's keep rolling, man. Okay, so this is actor Kaylan Walker proclaiming his innocence after but this is before he was actually convicted. This is before he got convicted.
I know I'm innocent, whether anybody believes it or not, and I'm going to yell to the mountaintop that I'm innocent. I think we are trained and conditioned, especially as Black men that get accused, to be quiet and hide behind a fake political statement. Oh, these accusations are false, and I will be quiet and let the process play out. I'm not that guy. I know I'm innocent. I'm facing 150 years to life over a woman that's lying.
Rico, what'd you say?
I'm smarter than everybody.
Yeah, man.
That's all I hear. Like, okay.
Yeah, I got my oldest boy is like this, man. My oldest boy is like, I can talk my way out of anything.
Yeah, I got one like that too. I'm smarter than everybody. Okay.
Hey, I like, bro, if you just take 2 seconds and just listen to what you're saying, man.
And I'm like, people don't,
Man, I'm smarter than everybody, like you say, man. I'm smarter than all of y'all.
Right. And they get so used to being around people They spend so much time around enablers and echo chambers, and that reinforces that level of hubris and arrogance. It just does.
Okay, but Rico, let me ask you this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think his legal team was telling him to be quiet, or you think they were telling him to run around?
Yes. A public defender tell you shut the fuck up. A PD, a public defender tell you shut the fuck up, don't talk to nobody. That's a public defender. The worst lawyers tell you shut up and stop running your mouth.
Because you know what they did, Rico? One of the things they said is that he was by him going to social media and pronouncing his innocence. They said he was subtly not abusing the victims, but intimidating the victims.
Yeah, sure.
He was intimidating the victims.
Yeah, they'll hit you with jury tampering, anything. You know.
Yeah, and so you can't even you can't even go out here and proclaim your innocence, because
proclaim your innocence in a court of law. That's the only way you can do it in a situation like this. That's who's judging you. The public can't judge you, and the public can't incarcerate your ass. Okay, the court of law will do that. That's why your attorney, we don't care what they think out there. Shut the hell up. I'm trying to keep you out of jail.
Right? Okay.
So shut up.
Okay. And knowing in the California system, they just want to win. So
and knowing you're a person of color anywhere in America, okay? That's why I said I just don't want to hear it. So let's continue on with the video.
But hold on, Rico. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, in California, I know they offered this dude a deal.
Most states are.
And say, hey, man,
but Clarence, most states, prosecutors don't want to take any cases to trial. If they could get 100% pleas, they want 100% pleas. The plea just has to be comparable to what the offense is. I'm not going to let you plead to a misdemeanor charge and you got 8 murders. Right. You know, fuck it. Okay, you're not going to plead to killing all 8 of them. Plead to killing 6 of them. I don't give a damn. Be the same amount of time, or plead to killing 4 of them. And then we can save the state. We can save the victims' families. We can save everybody a whole bunch of headache. Cop a plea to this. It'll be more than enough time than we think we can get for all of our resources. And we carry on. Plus, you know what the good thing about a plea is? Typically, when you cop a guilty plea, you have no chance of appeal.
Really? Okay.
No, you said you did it.
Okay. Well, in his case, he didn't take a deal. He pled.
And they still got convicted.
He only not pled, but he fought it and was convicted, found guilty.
Right. So he can always appeal because he pled not guilty, so he can appeal till the cows come home. But it's not likely they're gonna let his ass out.
He ain't got no money. But okay. They
probably offered him a plea. I guarantee you, they offered him a plea.
Yeah.
He refused it. It was for less than 150 years too.
Yeah. I mean, I'm thinking at least 25 years they offered him, and he probably said, "No, I'm good. I'm
smarter than everybody. I'm smarter."
So what ended up happening is, Rico, they charged him with 16 ARPs.
Yep.
Charged him with 16 ARPs and some other stuff.
Because maybe a couple of the other 6 might have been a little sketchy. Say, okay, we don't have enough. But if we still get his ass to go.
They got him on 10 of them.
And he got 150 years.
10 ARPs, Rico, that is a lot of time, man. Yeah. That is a lot of time.
And the reality is, that's appropriate. That's appropriate.
You're not going to be home in a few years.
That's 10 people. That's 10 people's whose livelihood, security, sanctity, sanity that he stole.
Same case.
These women, I'm assuming they're women, will be damaged for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Okay. That's 10 lives he stole. And in actuality, he probably stole another 12 that he didn't get convicted.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Right. Plenty more that he didn't get caught from. He didn't get caught.
And then we don't even know how many others he did this to. But we know 22 came forward. They found the evidence on 10 of them to be compelling. The other 12, they might have been like, we think he did those too, but we just don't think they proved it.
Right.
So in totality, I don't know if the judge gave him 150 years or the jury, but his ass got him.
Yeah, man. Ouch. Ouch.
And again, at the end of the day, just to remind everybody, I promise you, the majority of his victims look just like the four of us up here on this screen.
Yeah, absolutely.
So when y'all want to jump out there, he's a black man, and those are black women.
The ones I saw that got interviewed, that's what they look like. All right, so hold on, Rico. Let me shout out Dr. Hood. What's up, Doc? Glad to have you in the building, brother. Good to see you. Okay, so let's hear a little bit more, man, because this dude is smarter than everybody, Rico. He's smarter than everybody. All right, let's take a look at it.
He does not have the right. Women do not have the right to lie on men about rape, because they're taking validity in, and they're taking credibility away from real victims. The Me Too movement is very necessary, extremely necessary. But my problem is when there's women out there saying, he didn't give me money. I'm mad at him. He's not talking to me no more. He's moved on. He got a girl. I'm salty. I'm going to say he raped me. That is not.
Yeah, he did it. He did it. That little part right there.
Rico, is he helping himself?
That little part right there, he did it. I'm sorry. I'm like, what the fuck does the Me Too got to do with the charges you face?
Oh, man. Is he helping himself?
He did it. He did it. He did it. He did it.
Shout
All
out to
the reflections and everything. He did it. He did it. Like, nigga, we're not talking about Me Too. We're talking about YouTube.
Yeah, okay? Right?
You.
But he said right there, he said, hey, just because I didn't pay them. He never said I got consent. See, that's the thing he's missing, man. He don't realize that you have to have consent. In today's world, you have to have consent. You got to be able to some kind of way to stand.
We always should have had to have consent. There were
that's what I'm saying, Rico.
You didn't need consent from your wife, but
it wasn't as rock solid as it is now.
But it should have been.
Yeah, it should have been.
Should have been.
Nobody should be getting taken advantage of. Absolutely.
Because I've seen too many cases, and I'll be honest with you, I think back on my past. I ain't gonna say that I did it, but I've seen instances where I was probably a little bit more demanding and forceful than I should have been.
Sure, that was how that's how we operated back then.
Exactly.
Now
but
that
when
we're
I
more
think back
educated,
on it, I was like, that was pretty fucked up.
Yeah, man.
You know,
but now we educated. Back then we weren't. Right. We weren't educated.
We were ignorant and stupid, and that's why I speak about it and say, hey, look, we did some shit that, when people oftentimes want to romanticize the past, I'm like, nah, you talk to some of them sisters back then, they will tell you how they really felt.
Yeah.
But as men, we didn't care because we thought that would hit you over the head, drag you by. Remember the whole Flintstone thing?
Yeah,
hit you
right.
Over the head, drag you by your ponytail and drag you into the cave and have my business.
Shout out to Conversation with King. Yeah,
so that mentality, which I know I was susceptible to just like everybody else of the day, when I look back on it, I see how wrong it was.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
All right, so let me Rorschach has a comment here. I had a childhood friend who was a victim of SEX assault from an older white woman. Ouch.
Okay.
I had numerous friends who have been falsely accused and one who was sperm jacked as a drunk. Wow.
Question. So that last part. So I'm trying to figure out what's sperm jack. So that means
man, I'm trying to figure that out.
Drunk and somebody like give you a hand job and make you pop or some shit.
I don't know, man.
And then steal your seed.
Maybe so.
But if that's the case, maybe they ought to stop drinking. You know what I'm saying? If that happened to me, I'm gonna stop drinking.
Rico. You know that's how bees work, right?
Yeah.
Bees, male bees, the first thing they do with male bees, rip the wings off, rip the legs off, rip the arms off, and the women run the nest, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they make sure they get fed and cleaned, and when it's time to get the queen right, they go in there and extract the essence, and they take it to the queen, and then they fertilize it.
Okay. Well, I'm not going any further into that, Rorschach, because there's just too many questions. Too many questions I got with that. Maybe if you come up on the panel later on, hey, we got off the conversation with King. Maybe you come up on the panel.
Yeah, we got a couple more videos.
You can elaborate a little bit more, but not right now.
Come up.
I need to get a little bit more of this in me.
So let's finish up with Mr. Walker here.
Acceptable. There are men out here. If that's the case, every man in America will be locked up. That's not fair. That is not fair. I get mad about that, and it frustrates me very much because all it takes is a person to just want to make a statement. And I talked to cops when I was locked up in LA County Jail. They told me the Me Too movement is so severe. All it takes is a woman to say something without evidence, and by law, they have to come arrest that man. Is that fair?
True.
No.
That's not true.
So I'm going to scream to the mountaintops.
Okay,
I'm innocent.
let's get it straight.
Whether people think I'm innocent.
What's not true?
That just an accusation is enough to have you arrested and charged. It's not. Okay, for any no. I'm not gonna let you sit there and say
they can always drop the charges, Rico.
No. Just on a woman's word. No, all charges must be corroborated by additional evidence.
Should be.
All charges. When the police must do an investigation to see if the charges or the accusation is corroborated. Talk to a police officer.
Rico.
I don't talk to nobody in the hood. Talk to a police officer that will tell you for any charge, an investigation is the very first thing they must do. And if at the course of that investigation, they believe that those charges can be corroborated or substantiated, they arrest your ass and then charge you.
Okay, Rico, you from Baltimore, right?
I'm from Washington, D.C., but close enough.
Oh, you're from D.C., okay, in Baltimore.
But same thing, I know Baltimore well.
Okay, so what you know that brothers get picked up a lot on the weekends, right? And they'll spend the whole weekend in jail. And then they just let them go on a Monday or Tuesday, right? This brother's getting out right now. LA County on that bus coming back up here to where it used to be Lenox. Now they're coming out here to
those are instances like public drunkenness, just all kind. I've been locked up for some bullshit.
But this is my point, Rico. Right. There ain't no investigation or nothing.
No, but I'm sitting there saying, oftentimes, yes, those types of public nuisance, petty charges, crimes, they'll just scoop your ass up. Not on an art case. Not on a body.
Okay, now I will say that
they are
definitely they have to have a little more substantiation.
And let me tell you why. It's because even when you're arrested and the charges are dropped, that arrest doesn't go away. So they can't say I picked you up on a Friday for murder and I let you go and I dropped them on Monday. Because now you got a civil suit. But if I picked your ass up for public drunkenness or peeing in public and I dropped the suit on Monday or something like that, even the charges I've been on the bullshit fighting in public release, those charges still come up. The arrest doesn't go away for what they booked you for.
But what I'm saying, Rico, is
so that's why I said
okay, let's agree on this.
But that statement, all a woman has to do is say you art them and you go to jail. No.
That's a tricky one, Rico. I've seen stuff like that happen, so it's hard. I've seen stuff like that kind of happen.
When that happens is the woman goes in, she's got, what are they corroborated with? First of all,
let me give you the story.
Yeah.
Okay, I had a roommate, right? Before I got married, I had a roommate. And so my roommate and I were we were chilling in the house. Now his girlfriend that came over, and she got mad because he was messing with some other chick.
Fair.
And so they got into it, but he didn't do nothing to her. She was hitting him.
Okay.
He got mad because he pushed her out the house. He said, "You got to go. You ain't gonna be beating me up in my own house. You got to go." Right. So he pushed her out the house, and so she called the sheriffs. The sheriffs came out, and they was getting ready to take him to jail. So I told them, I told the sheriff, I said, you're not taking this man nowhere. You're not taking him nowhere unless you got a charge for him. They were just getting ready to put him in the car and take him. I said, you're not taking this man nowhere.
Clarence, okay, let's be honest here. Domestic violence cases are handled differently. And they're handled,
and especially back at that time. Right. I'll give you that, Rico. I'll give you that.
Why they're handled differently is because in almost all jurisdictions, the first thing they will say is somebody has to go to jail because they don't even. We need to separate the combatants. Okay, and it is better the man or the woman. One of you motherfuckers got to go to jail for tonight because what has been happening is in instances where they left the combatants together. Then they came back and it was a homicide.
Right.
So the whole premise of that, I'm like, yeah, I've been through it with my ex-wives where they first thing they ask, let me see your face. Let me see this. If that woman got a mark on her, your ass is going to jail. You going to jail. And I get, and that's why I said, I'm not saying it's an absolute. I'm saying for ARP, homicide, major violence cases, even child abuse and things like that. No, they're going to investigate. Those are serious charges. But domestic violence, the whole point is you got somewhere to go. I've been put out of my fucking house to let somebody stay in my house who didn't even live there.
Dang.
Because they like, bruh, you do it the hard way or the easy way. Dang. And that push was on to separate the combatants, period. And the premise is, and then the thinking is maybe for most people after a night or two of cooling off, whether it's in jail or somebody else's house, they'll come back and they'll talk like they got some fucking shit. So yes, that's an everyday thing. Public drunkenness is an everyday thing. Loitering and petty larceny, that's an everyday thing. Traffic shit, that's an they lock you up for a DUI. They ain't investigating nothing. You blew, you failed, motherfucker, or you weaving. Right. You can't walk straight. And my ass sons who refuse to take a breathalyzer, so they ain't have no evidence. But I suspect that you driving under the influence, you going to jail.
Yeah, if you refuse to breathalyzer, you gone. Yeah.
Right. Those type of cases, I fully accept that. But ARPing, no. Okay. And I don't want that. See, so he's putting out a narrative. Like, other than that, come on. It's just, no, they're not. Now, there are false allegations that later don't get proven because the first thing the police is like, okay, you said you've been ARP. Have you done an ARP kit? Oh, I didn't want to. Well, you need to go to the hospital and immediately, that's what we need to do. Because they have special nurses and doctors who can check and investigate the validity of it. Now, the problem I get, what I understand where a lot of guys are saying that there are far too many false allegations and nothing ever happens, because I think in a lot of instances, the police will say, okay, we dropped the charges, and they be like, well, why didn't they charge the woman? Well, it doesn't necessarily mean they don't believe her. What they sometimes will drop the charge is that they can't prove it. So it's a fine line. Yes, some women make the shit up, but sometimes if they just drop the case and don't press charges against the woman, they have to think at a certain percentage they believe something happened. They just don't know what it was or how bad it was. So
okay, Rico, let me ask you.
But there are cases where women have flat out falsely claimed it, and when the police realize they just completely made it up, they have been charged.
The woman?
They have been charged. Yeah. There's been several cases. I said, Clint, I'm gonna find you multiple cases with women because it was so made up. Like the guy wasn't even in the fucking state. You know what I'm saying? Things like, and she even told somebody what she was going to do. So in those cases, yes, but in a lot of the other cases, it comes down to a he said, she said. They can't prove it, so they let the guy go. But it don't mean they don't believe he did something.
Right.
They just can't prove it. So, and that's what a lot of it is that the evidence isn't there to go forward with the charge. But the guy figured, well, they didn't lock me up. And I'm like, yeah, motherfucker, be glad they didn't. It just wasn't enough proof.
Okay, Rico, so do you think this guy's helping himself? by talking.
No, he's an idiot. He's an idiot. He's an idiot and he's guilty.
All right, so let's see a little bit more of Mr. Khalil Walker proclaiming his innocence by keeping on talking.
Or not. And then now certain things are coming out and people are still trying to find excuses. Well, we didn't see her face. We didn't see this because people do not want to believe that a black man is innocent of rape.
It's very hard.
Yeah, I know.
To believe that they're innocent of it?
Looking at you.
No, it's not. Why would he make the statement that it's very hard for people to believe a black man is innocent of rape?
I mean, let me tell you why he did that. That was a very strategic move. So what he's trying to do is say, hey, brothers, it's all of us is getting charged here. It's not just me by myself. You have an interest in seeing me get innocent too. You got to come on over and
see, that's the ultimate deflection. They're charging me only because I'm black. Only because. Forget that whole mountain of other evidence. Forget all that. It's only because I'm black. Well, forget the 19 black women.
Yeah, right.
All right. Don't believe them lying black. You know what? Right. That's what I'm saying.
Right. So, but the whole point is, this dude wasn't black before, right? It wasn't. We didn't have no problem when he was getting when he got the record contract from TDE, when he got the acting contract, and when he got all this other stuff.
He didn't give a shit about the Me Too movement before his ass got jammed up. He didn't give a fuck about all the false accusations. See, you only hear all this when their ass is jammed up. I'm like, so where was this concern? Where was you're a big time actor? You got a voice. Show me on your social media pages where you was doing any caping for falsely accused black men before your ass got accused.
Nope. What he was doing was he was perusing through IG looking for chicks to try to get them to come over to his house.
There we go.
There we go. Allegedly. But he's convicted now. Yeah, he's convicted now.
You don't have to say allegedly.
But he's convicted. He's been convicted. I think they gave him 100 years.
Harper.
Yeah, and it's over, man. It's over. Done. This dude, he's gonna ask at least do, I would think at least 40 years. Minimum. And
I mean, he got 100 and what?
How many years?
Yeah.
He got 100, I think. He got sentenced to 100. He was looking at 150 if he would have got convicted on all charges. But I think, like I said, they brought 16. They had 22 victims. They brought 16 cases. They brought 16 cases. They were able to prove 10. And on that 10, they gave him 100. They gave him a C note.
Stupid ass should have took the plea.
He should have took the plea, right? Yeah. The plea would have been at least probably about 25 years. And he probably could have done half of that, which would probably been about 12 and a half. But now he's going to do 40 before he even think about some bricks.
Yeah.
But maybe he might, go back and get something just reduced or something.
Nah. Well, maybe we'll see.
I don't see how's he going to do it, Rico, with maybe one ARP, maybe 2 ARPs, maybe 10, same case. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
I don't know, man.
Let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving so we get to the other video. We just throw this nigga away. You just throw him in the trash. Just throw him in the trash.
The doc said he should have took the deal. I agree with you, Doc. He should have took the deal, man. But you know what? Because they love throwing deals out here in California, man. They'll give you a deal in a hot second. But he didn't take it, man. He was trying to talk his way out of it, man. My oldest boy is just like that, man. He think he can talk his way out of everything, man.
I'm smarter than everybody else.
All he do is make it worse.
Make it deeper. He's just dig deeper. That's what they do. But like, boy, I got one like that. Like, boy, if you don't stop digging.
Shout out to Sister Annie. Good to have you in the building. Good to have you in the building. She say shout out to Rico Young.
Sister
Annie. Yeah, thank you, Sister Annie.
Look, and then
I need people to keep Rico awake.
Look, then I know you know what's so funny, Clarence? I bet you your son just like me, right? Be sitting there telling you that damn lie, you looking at him like that, and they still talking.
Yeah.
Like, boy, you see the look on my face change? If you don't see the look on my face change, don't nobody believe this shit you saying. But it's just like him.
Let me tell you, man. Let me tell y'all a story. I probably told y'all this story before. So I used to, on my way to work, going downtown, I used to drop my son off, my oldest boy off to school. I used to drop him off to school, and then on the way back home from work, I pick him up. Okay, so this day I dropped him off to school. I got a call. Sir, I'm just trying to let you know, your son hasn't been seen in any of his classes. It's already like 10, 11 o'clock. He hasn't been seen in any of his classes. We can't find him. I said, okay. I get another call about 2 o'clock. Hey, we haven't seen him. Just want to let you know we're looking for him now, but we haven't seen him. At the end of the day, I get a call. Hey, we haven't seen him. We don't know where he's at. Okay, so by the time I get off work, I go down there. He ain't there, nowhere around. I don't know what happened. Nobody knows where he's at. So I said, okay, I'm gonna just go home. So I went home and get a call about 6 o'clock. Hey, can you come get me? I'm out here on such and such. He was way down in the hood somewhere. He was down in if you know LA, Broadway and 55th, right? Just crazy, right? So I said, no, man. I said, you find your way over there, find your way home, right? This guy's walking in the door about an hour later, right? So he's telling me, oh no, what happened was I was at school all day. Nobody saw me. That's the only thing. Nobody saw me, right? So I said, oh, nobody saw you? You were at school because I went to go pick you up. Oh no, I was there. Somebody they just didn't come and get me. I was there. So as he's talking, I go over to the what's the thing? The phone, the recorder. I push the button there where he's saying, sir, we haven't seen your son all day. We checked this class, we checked this class, we checked that class. None of those teachers saw him. He said, no, they just didn't see me. I was sitting in the back. I was just sitting in the back of all the classes. I said, you know what? I said, I got to give it to you, man. You sticking with that lie. I got to give it to you, brother. Oh, yeah. I got to give it to you, man. I said, we're going to stop it right here. I said, I got to give it to you. At least you got guts, man, to stick with that lie. They're going to talk their way out of everything, man. All right, so let's see a little bit more, and then I got another clip because I'm trying to show how this young man just thinks he's just gonna keep talking his way out of the situation, and all he did was dig the ditch deeper
and make it work.
Like, for example, in this situation, how he was talking about how basically how everybody's lying on him instead of proving it in court. He's out here talking, and they told him, I'm sure his lawyers told him, hey, you're gonna look like you're trying to intimidate the witnesses. I don't care. I gotta defend myself. Okay. All right.
You're a black man.
Absolutely.
Someone can make an assumption about you and you can lose your job with this beautiful platform you have off of an assumption. This has completely fucked up my whole perception about being around women in general. I'm awkward outside now because if a girl meets me and she's a fan, I'm like this. And she's like, why are you acting that way? I'm traumatized. I have trust issues with women. I'm scared to be around society.
You ain't gonna have to be around society no more, brother. They took care of that for you. They took care of that for you. So let's move on, man. Let's move on. I just want you guys to get an idea of how this dude was thinking, his thinking process, and how he felt like, hey, man, I'm smarter than everybody. Basically, what Rico was saying. So now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at I think this is a little closer to his sentencing. This video here. Let's see. No, we already did that one. Let me go back and do this. Boom. All right, let's see. Oh yeah, okay, here we go. Okay, this video comes provided by Night and Day Network LLC. Shout out to Night and Day LLC. Go Night and Day Network LLC. Go over there and check them out. Okay, let's go.
Blacks don't mess around. We different from Night and Day.
Kylan Walker was found guilty of raping 6 victims. 3 of them 16-year-old aspiring models, and sexually assaulted 7 women during a series prosecutors called sophisticated attacks between 2013 and 2018. The actor who appeared in Kings with Halle Berry in 2017 and played a gang member Juju in the 2018 flick Superfly hung his head and began sobbing as the split verdict from the Los Angeles jury was read. He was acquitted on charges related to 3 of the 10 victims in the case, including 2 charges of forcible rape. He said, "I didn't rape anybody, Your Honor. I didn't rape anybody." Walker, 27, exclaimed as he was led away in handcuffs after the jury departed. He is facing up to 100 years to life, and his lawyer, Andrew Flyer, quickly vowed for an appeal. Actress Sydney Stanford, who was one of the victims of Kylan Walker, took to her Instagram to speak out after he was found.
That's it. Let's hear it. I want to hear what she had to say.
Yeah. So I'm just breaking it up a little bit. Yeah. So
one of his victims was 16, so she was a fucking child.
Yeah.
And he was an adult.
Yeah.
So miss me with his bullshit.
They got him on a couple of those. They got him on a couple of those.
That's shit. That's statutory art or something.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not because of being 16, but they're still children in my fucking eyes.
He's done. This dude is done, man. It's over.
Yeah, just throw the nigga in the trash. You just throw his ass in the trash.
It's over. But it's so sad because young brother had so much going on, man.
It's sad that he was that stupid, but other than that, his ass is right where he belongs.
Yeah. All right, so let's hear what she's got to say.
Yeah.
On the case.
Found guilty.
So I honestly wasn't even sure if there would ever be a day that I get to share this news with you guys. But the person who raped me and so many other people was found guilty today of rape and is facing a lot of time in prison. I'm so immensely grateful for everybody and everything that everybody has. I'm trying to do this without crying, Lord. I'm so grateful for everybody who testified on the behalf of all of his victims because.
See, that's the result. That's the result.
This is the chick that he jumped in the back seat when she was uncomfortable in his house, and he said he was going to drive her home, and he jumped in the back seat with her and arped her, and she said she was so scared, she was frightened still. Now, here's the issue, Rico. When do you have consent?
When it's given to you.
What does consent look like?
To me, it looks like them saying that they want to have sexual intimacy or intercourse with you. Anything less than that, you have to verbalize and say it. Don't leave nothing open to imagination. It ain't never been that difficult to me. It just ain't. You know, I've been crude enough to say, hey, look, we fucking or what? You know, and I don't force myself on them, and I don't think it's that difficult if a woman to let you know, whether through her body language or her words, that she doesn't want to have intimacy with you. I don't think nobody's that fucking confused.
But what happens, Rico, is the guys don't want to hear no.
Well, then that's their fucking problem. That makes them an arpist. I don't care what you don't want to hear.
Instead of asking straight out,
then too bad. Then go to jail. Then go to fucking jail, and I don't care. I'm not doing these word games, this word salad shit with you. The bottom line is, well, I didn't want to hear no. Okay, well, tell that to Bubba. I don't care. Yeah. I don't care. That in 2022, and I've known it well. I've known that all. I mean, I found myself in situations where, like I said, questions that when I look back on when, and you know, you're talking 30-something years, almost 40-something years ago, right, where we didn't always ask, You know what I'm saying? So I think that there's been some situations that 40 years ago, I'm like, shit, I'd be in trouble. But nobody never left intimidated or afraid, or because shit, most of them came back.
Yeah, right. But see, Rico,
so,
back then you didn't have to have that.
But I'm just still thinking. I'm still thinking like, if 40 years ago, even when we were at that time kind of Neanderthalish, I knew in most cases, most of us was verbalizing. We like I said, we'd start with the heavy petting, the dry humping, this, that, whatever. You know, you rubbing on the girl behind, so she know what you want, you know what they want, so on and so forth. And they will tell you things like, "Oh, I'm not on the peel," something like that. So you're having sexual conversations,
right?
And that is a form of consent where they be like, "Not now, I'm on my period," or you know, whatever like that. You know how you used to come on, let me just put the head in. You would say little shit like that. That's asking. And if they say, okay, just put the head in, okay, they're consenting for you to put the head in. You know, so I'm saying this like 30, 40 years ago. What the fuck are they talking about now?
Well, now it's a whole nother ball game now, Rico. Now you have
it's the same ball game. What the fuck do y'all say?
Rico,
what do they do? They just walking around like this. I mean,
Rico,
what the fuck are you motherfuckers telling me that y'all can't sit there and discuss sexual intercourse prior to the act taking place?
No,
you do.
Because because this is why.
No, these guys are being told no. They're being told no, and they don't want to hear it.
Listen, the guys are looking They are looking at it as an investment, Rico. They're looking for a return on their investment.
Well, he can get his return in jail.
They bought dinner, Rico. They bought dinner. They paid for the movie.
I don't care.
They got some new cologne.
Show me where,
Rico.
Show me where anywhere in the history of time that it says that if you do all these things, you owed some ass. Even 50 years ago, because we used to do it too. It was called courting. Right. We used to have to take them to the movies, buy them popcorn, take them to the dance. Right. Niggas didn't just start spending money on women. I've been spending money on women forever. But at no point in time in my 57 going on 58 years on this earth did anybody ever tell me that if I spend money on a woman, I'm owed some ass. I spent money on a woman in hopes that she would give me some to let her know that I liked her. And that's fine. But if in 2022, they've convinced themselves that if I spend money on something, I'm owed something, then that's their fault. They all deserve to go to jail. I bet you this, they don't feel that way when they spending money on their boys.
No.
Okay, then. So you miss me with that investment bullshit. Because you spend money on your mans and them, they don't give you a motherfucking thing. And you ain't going to take nothing from them either, but an ass whooping. Yeah. So
Rico, look, these guys don't want to invest all that time and money.
Then don't do it.
Walk away with nothing.
Then so don't do it.
They're scared to ask for the order. They're scared to ask for the order.
Too bad.
So what they do is they try to
continue on ARPing people and continue going to jail, and I don't care.
That's.
And I really don't care.
They think what they're doing is setting the atmosphere, but this is what they're actually doing. Like you said, they set the atmosphere for them to ARP somebody. Because if somebody
don't
give
care,
you
and I'm not wasting my time talking to nobody that I'm not trying to save nobody that fucking stupid. I'm just not. If they're that stupid and that misinformed, I want them to hurry up and be gone. Be gone. I'm not. I wouldn't do it if it was my sons. I wouldn't do it. See, I raised sons to have, boy, you got to have a mouth game. You got to be able to spit that mouth, and you got to talk her out them panties. She be, like, as Miss Dr. Who said, she be taking them off for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
She's gonna come in the room, buttered up, butterball naked. You know what I'm saying? But that's that mouth game. We knew that coming up, Clinch. brothers. I used to try to sing, ooh, choo and all that. You know what I'm saying? If you can sing,
Right.
had a little talent.
You had to have a gimmick or something, man. You had to
have them. You put them little waves in your hair, start your pants in your shirt, be clean, some nice cologne, and like,
right.
You trying to talk like Billy D? Come on.
Right.
But this shit they doing that. See, they out here doing that fresh and fit fuckery.
Right.
And if that's what he want to do, he probably was red pill. That motherfucker probably was red pill.
I don't even think he was. I don't think he was even that sophisticated, Rico.
You mean? I bet you he was in them. I bet you he believed in all that manosphere ideology. I bet you he did. I don't know, and I don't care.
I doubt it. I don't. He don't look that sophisticated to me, man. Listening to him, he just seemed like he was fresh off the boat, man. He just really didn't know what he was doing.
Well,
he got lucky.
Another reason, lock his ass up. Lock his ass up. Lock his ass up.
Oh yeah, he's done, Rico. He's done. He's got a fork in him. He's done. Okay, so let's finish up with let's finish up with this because we got
one thing we got to accept, Clarence. We can't figure out all these Negroes. Some of them just broken. Some of them just broken. They just broke.
Yeah.
Don't win.
Yeah, this dude was but it don't come out, Rico, until they get the pressure of reality of real life on them.
Oh well.
I know that not every single voice got the chance to be heard. I'm so grateful to the people who spoke up about the injustice that was happening and, made our voices heard, specifically made my voice heard. I'm appreciative to Kaylani, to India, you guys.
All right, let's go ahead and go through this and get to the next video. We already know he belongs in the trash.
Okay, so there's another aspect of the situation, and that's the victims. The victims,
like her. Exactly.
Yeah, right. And a guy don't, he don't really, like, you could tell by the way he's talking, he doesn't believe he did anything wrong. Absolutely not. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So he thinks everything was consensual. Now, why does he think that, Rico?
Because he's a fucking idiot. He's an idiot. There's no right or wrong. There's no, they think just because of this. No, they're just fucking idiots.
Okay. But
most people who do commit crimes think they done no wrong. I've never seen a criminal that thought they did anything wrong.
But that's the point I'm trying to make here, is that he thought because they allowed him to do what he was doing, that was consent. You see what I'm saying?
Well, then he'll be consenting in prison when somebody got him bent over against his will.
So that's
He's
what
about to find out what it is.
We try to tell these young guys, man, hey, just because a woman is letting you do it, she might be scared to death, like this chick here.
I ain't wasting my breath. If you don't know how to talk them out of their panties, for them to make it crystal clear, if you can't figure out, if a woman is laying there stiff and you hunching on her and you don't figure out something's wrong, your ass belong in jail. Period.
But then for Rico, ain't nobody teaching these lessons. Ain't nobody teaching this stuff.
Excuse me.
So how would you know? You don't know. You don't know until...
Then you know what? And I don't. Just lock them motherfuckers up when you find them. Just lock them up when you find them. Just find them all and lock them up. Find all the ones that ain't got educated and throw their ass in jail before they sit there. Before I go to jail for homicide because one of them touched my fucking daughter.
Man.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because, there are too many innocent young black girls and white girls and any other kind of girl that should not have to be victimized by these ignorant motherfuckers.
Right.
Period. Right. So no, cry me a fucking river.
But we gotta do stuff like this to point out that consent doesn't mean just because a woman is letting you do something. And
I ain't gotta do this. I ain't gotta do this. If you that stupid, go to jail. I ain't trying to save you motherfuckers.
But I'm saying we got youngsters that don't know, Rico. They just don't know.
Then get them, round them up, and put them in jail. They can hunch on each other.
Round them all up and put them in jail.
They can hunch on each other. They can practice on each other. If you that damn stupid, you go on in there and get hunched on by somebody bigger than you. Get somebody bigger than you to hunch on you and forcibly take you without consent.
Now that is a lesson right there. Okay.
There it is. That's the best way I can teach your ass. But I just don't, to me, it's just not that difficult, in cases like this. It's just not. I even try to take away the defense, the whole alcohol drug defense that, sometimes and I'll give a little bit more credit, not credit, but a little bit more grace there. The guy's like, I was just drunk and I didn't, I'm like, then you shouldn't be getting that fucking inebriated. But maybe I'll give a little bit of room there. But in all other instances, I'm like, it's not that different. And I've been intoxicated and got to, I'm like, I've been intoxicated when I realized that a woman don't want to do nothing with me. You need to stop and go the fuck on. She ain't as drunk as you. She ain't got as drunk as I was trying to get her. Like, damn, this motherfucker ain't drunk yet. Ready to give me no leg? Nope. All right, shit. I guess I ain't getting it tonight. And that was it.
Go home. Hands in your pocket.
Right.
All right.
You try to get them liquored up, and it's like she be like giggling all night. I'm like, ooh. What you doing? Huh? You was laughing all night. Get off of me. What you doing? Yeah, you gotta stop.
Frico, what kind of girl do you think I am?
Yeah, you gotta stop. I'm just saying it ain't that hard. And and what I also believe is you have really got to be doing something extremely egregious for a woman to put that charge on you. That's not you kissing and pecking and maybe you rubbing on their breasts, or maybe even you usually, as they say, ARPing is a crime of violence. People tend to think of it as just being a crime of sex. It's private, and they classify it as a crime of violence because of the harm and the terror and the physicalness that's involved in ARPing someone. So I don't even know how a guy can perform being violent with someone like that. Well, but if that's your type of, that's what floats your boat. If the woman wanted you to be, like, I don't even play the whole, people that got into like, fucking no, I ain't choking you and you ain't choking me either. I don't get into it, but I mean, I know people got their little kinks and I ain't pass no judgment, but I don't do the whole physical stuff. I don't even like smacking my wife's ass. Like, no, I mean, just don't do it for me.
Rico, you got to put a little spice out there, Rico.
Yeah, but that don't, violence is violence. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you like violence.
The whole choking me and till I can't breathe. I'm like, no. Can I put handcuffs on you? No. That stuff just don't even appeal to me. It just doesn't.
No.
It just don't. I feel unsafe.
No handcuffs.
Yeah,
no handcuffs.
I feel unsafe. I mean, I remember the first time my wife did this. What the fuck is you doing? No. All right, you about to come too quick. Well, I'm just gonna have to, but you ain't gonna choke me. Fuck that shit. Because I'm always, I don't know, I'm causing it of physical harm to myself. I grew up. Somebody put their hands on you. You got, so I had those blackout periods where, like, if I'm assaulted in any way, I'm like Bernie Mac. I'll fuck a kid up.
Right.
Don't put your hand on me. Don't do it. So, this guy, and I know if you ever in your life talk to an art victim, they will tell you ain't nobody never art them in a loving way. Right. It ain't never been soft. It ain't never been gentle. It's always been very rough, very violent, and all that. So, and when I think about that again, I'm like, if you can't understand that you're being physically violent with a woman, then your ass deserves to go to jail. That's it. Sorry.
Oh, okay, Rico. Okay, Rico. What is the takeaway? What is the takeaway from this situation? What's the takeaway? Let me go over it again. This is the actor Kaylan Walker. He is been found guilty of 6 ARPs, and he's looking at 100 years in the California state penal system, and he is basically thrown everything he had down the drain: acting career, music career, ghostwriting career, just the modeling career, photography career, everything. And so, how did he do it? How did he do it, Clarence? What happened with him and how he got caught up is he was going on Instagram looking for these IG models, inviting them over to his house, and then telling them he was going to pay them to have sex with them. And then when they was like, I'm not going to do that, he tried to he ARPed them anyway. A lot of them he ARPed them anyway. So so he got caught up, and his victims all rallied around and they got together and they put the foot down on him. So what's the takeaway? What's the lesson in this, Rico? What's the lesson?
Don't be a fucking idiot. I mean, don't ARP nobody.
Yeah,
it's not that difficult. Yeah.
Pretty simple.
It don't take no.
But a lot of these guys don't know that just because, let's say you land with someone and you trying to you trying to warm them up and get them ready to go, and then they just let you do it. Are they giving you consent when they let you do it, or are they?
I'm not saying they're not giving you consent. I'm saying they're not giving you consent. That's it. So I'm not saying they're not, but they're not giving it to you. So unless you sure that you got it, you don't need to be doing it. And again, if the woman just laying there and not involved in the act of intercourse, then I would say she ain't giving you consent. That, to me, that's pretty obvious. I've never been in the act of intercourse and had someone not also actively participating, verbally, physically, mentally. They are participating in the act of intercourse. So I'm like, what the fuck did he think he was on? A sex doll? That's the only thing I would think that's the only thing I think that just lays there and do nothing.
But Rico, Rico, there was a cop, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was talking about this cop the other day. He's in jail now. I forgot the guy's name. Holtzclaw.
I think in Oklahoma, he had been ARPing all these black women he was pulling over. Yeah, I know about that.
Okay.
I think it was Oklahoma, I believe.
So one
white
of them,
cop, he crying. He was taking advantage of. I think some of them were prostitutes. So he was just really. He'd pull them over for a traffic violation. Not all of them were prostitutes, but some of them were.
No. And the one that got him wasn't. Mm-hmm. The one that got him wasn't. The one that actually got the ball rolling wasn't. Somebody's grandmama, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, she performed oral sex on this man. So he thought he had consent, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did he or didn't he?
No, because that was his whole issue. Like I said, it came down to
he was participating.
You cannot have a woman consent to giving you sex under threat or duress. Okay, he used the power dynamic of I'm a cop, you gonna blow me or you going to jail.
Okay,
and that's a common everyday occurrence. Okay, you cannot have consent under duress or threat. You just can't.
Okay.
You just can't. That's just common sense. And if you don't understand that, throw your ass in jail where he is. Yeah. And in every one of the cases he got charged for, they proved that it was duress and threats.
Yeah.
Period. That's just common sense.
So why is it so hard for men to understand?
It's not hard. They just fucking idiots.
No,
these particular ones. It's not that
boy. He didn't understand. He he really think that he really think he's making.
No, he did. He was if he really thought that, he wouldn't have been. Let me tell you why that's some bullshit. If he thought that, he wouldn't have threatened them. He wouldn't have put them under duress. He wouldn't have told them, do this or you going to jail. If he thought they were giving him consent. He knew exactly what he was doing, which is why his ass is in jail. He knew exactly what he was doing. And most of these ARPists do know exactly what they're doing, whether they're imposing their will on a woman through threats of violence, or I'm going to have your children taken, or whatever they try to leverage. They know. So I'm just sorry. I don't accept that premise that they're just lost and confused young men who just, don't understand what's going on. No, I don't.
No. I'm not saying they lost and confused. What I'm saying is they are ARPists, but but there's something going on in their brains that makes them think that this is okay.
They got an brain. They got an ARPist brain.
Right.
But that's it may be a sociopath. Yes, I do believe it could be a pathology, like you said, most sociopaths don't believe they're doing nothing wrong when they're killing people.
Right.
They see they're disassociated from the actions that they're doing, and they see absolutely nothing wrong with it. So, most ARPists do have some sort of pathology. They do.
Right, let me put out here what Mr. T said. Mr. T said, I don't know. Some of these women need to take some responsibility for their action too, putting themselves in situations where stuff like this can happen.
I don't disagree with that, but that's still no excuse for nobody ARPing them, period.
Yeah, man.
So you're right. I don't disagree with that. That's the lesson that I preach to my daughters. Don't put yourself in a situation where a motherfucking ARPist can ARP you. Yeah. But even if she does, that's no excuse for no one ARPing them, period.
Right.
But I do agree with you, Mr. Tulu. I preach that and push that to my daughters, and to tell my sons about their daughters. My wife know better already, and so on and so forth. But I don't give a damn if the woman walking down the street butt naked. Call goddamn social services, because she might be, having a mental breakdown. That's no excuse for you to say, oh shit, she walking down here with no clothes on. She must want me to ARP her. Yeah. No, that's a lame ass, weak ass excuse that anyone wants to say. I hate to say it, that's the Mike Tyson excuse. Desiree, whatever her name was, she had no business going to his room 3:00 in the morning. But if he ARPed her, he had no excuse for doing that either.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So, you just can't. That's just bullshit.
It's a cautionary tale, man, because it's sad, dude. Dude had millions of dollars, and she just threw it all away, threw his whole life away. I wouldn't be surprised if he did something crazy, like tried to delete himself or something, man, because he basically.
I hope he doesn't do that, but he's a fucking idiot.
I hope he doesn't either, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I'm not going to sympathize to the point that he should be let out, because we must consider.
No. Because when he got out the first time, he went right back to doing it.
Well, in reality is he has the victims need justice. They got justice. His ass is exactly where he belongs. So I hope he doesn't self-delete, but if he does,
I wouldn't be surprised.
Hopefully he'll make some repentance for what he done. If he believe in anything, might want to start with asking for forgiveness for what he done.
But you don't think he did anything wrong, Rico?
Oh, well, then do whatever you got to do, homie. Handle your business, homie.
Do that time.
Handle your business, homie. That's it. All right.
Remember that show? Remember that show? There used to be a show called Beretta. Remember?
Oh yeah. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time. Don't do.
No.
Yeah, I'm telling you. Yeah, that was that dude. That was Robert. I forgot his last name.
Blake.
Robert Blake. And these young bucks don't know he got off on killing his wife. in LA.
In LA,
okay?
In front of a restaurant.
He's a white boy, but I don't know if he's Italian or whatever. His wife named Bonnie, and killed her in the parking lot of a restaurant.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? I bet you your black ass ain't gonna get away with no shit like that. I think his shit was I don't know if his was before OJ or after OJ, because those two cases were the big cases back in the day that was on television.
Yeah. I think his was before OJ, but it got adjudicated after, I believe.
Yeah. But he got I know he got away with it. He got away.
Yeah, he got it.
But his Hollywood career, I mean, his career was pretty much on the downswing anyway. He'd been in all kinds of, he like 20, 30-year career in Hollywood maing movies.
Yeah.
Had another young wife. And the wife he killed, which was his ex-wife, he had a kid with her.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So I would have to look up the story again about that. But yeah, his ass, and people's like, yeah, he did it.
Trying to get more child support, I think.
Yeah, he did it.
Child support.
But he got away with killing that white woman. Like, yeah, but he a white man. So, hey, they got different rules.
Yeah, yeah.
So that goes back to the conversation we was having yesterday with Arshawn. I was talking to AR. I'm like, again, if he was black, his ass would have been charged, and that would have been another one in the black column, right, with the homicide. Because he's white, he got away with it. Yeah.
Yeah, he got away with it, man.
But you see how that skews the numbers? Because I'm like, you discount all the cases where white people get away with killing and get found innocent.
Yeah.
So, and that's why they discount all the numbers. And I'm like, and Lord knows we don't want to talk about all the unsolved homicides. But we're just going to believe that they're all predominantly black or the same proportion. They could have been done 90% white. We don't know.
See, that's why I wanted to ask the question, how does this court system work, right? Because the next story we got is this lady accused of killing her baby, right?
Yeah, in Texas.
Hold on, Rika. Shout out to Lucky Marie. Good to see you in the building, sis. Good to see you in the building. We're gonna put the link out after this next story. But Casey Anthony walked away clean.
Yeah. Yep.
The mama smelled the decomposition.
Found the body, a couple of blocks from the house. Yeah. And then this woman, she's Hispanic.
Yeah.
Let's not pretend. Once again, but people always want to say race don't have nothing to do with it. Okay? This woman called 911 about her daughter being unresponsive, and they used a very unusual technique for coercing a confession out of her. This for hours, which is what they generally do to us. They get us in that room and they sweat your ass to read technique.
Man.
And they sweat and browbeat the fuck out of you. And they told them that they should stop using this technique because it's elicited too many false confessions.
Okay.
Because the technique itself, hours on end, good cop, bad cop, good cop, bad cop, good cop. So psychologically, they're breaking you down. So they're not seeking the truth. They're beating suspects mentally and verbally into saying whatever they have. That people have said things that just didn't even happen.
Right.
Because of the technique, and it has been proven to be so. But this is what they use to convict this woman, and they put her ass on death row. But the good news, I will say, she was supposed to be executed tomorrow.
Yeah, she got to stay. Yeah.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
They was going to kill this woman in Texas, and y'all know Texas don't play. They was going to kill her tomorrow, but thankfully she got to stay because so much evidence has come out to substantiate that her daughter fell and had an accident.
But that's the thing, Rico. That stuff they wasn't trying to let it. They wasn't trying to let that stuff in, and her lawyers got it in. So they got to take another look at it.
But now she'd have been locked up for I don't know how many years already.
Right. Yeah, I forgot. Yeah.
And they took advantage of her. She had been a victim of sexual abuse when she was coming out. Plus, she also she was she wasn't an immigrant, but she was a Hispanic woman, low education, low socioeconomic status, had like 9 or 10 other kids.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying?
Whoa.
but yet her daughter had an accident. And like I said, you know, when people describe, well, she didn't look like she was upset when they came. Well, once she didn't even know her daughter was dead. She had been trying to revive her. And they said, you know, from my reading of the story, she was going through the classic, you know, a remorse status. Like oftentimes people who've been through so much stuff like that, when a tragedy like happens, they don't always break down and cry. Oftentimes they're just stunned in the silence and in the shock.
Right.
You know, and all the siblings, which they didn't let speak, said that their sister had repeated falls. She always had difficulty, and she was very accident prone ever since she was a little girl. She had repeated falls before that had been documented as not abuse. But once again, if you black or brown, we know how we get looked at. And that's all I'm just sitting there saying, is I'm not saying to let any of us off the hook, but we got to stop being dismissive of these historical truths when talking about statistics where, you know, like I said, they like to throw out, oh, black men are 6% of the population, but 50% of the homicide. And I'm like, you know, it's so totally skewed because, again, I'm like, yeah, they don't talk about the percentage of black men who are subsequently found innocent of these homicides.
No.
They don't talk about it. They're disproportionately, when the Innocent Project come out, yes, they find some white men innocent too, but disproportionately, people of color every day are coming home for crimes they never committed.
Right.
So they're not pulling them
Rico. They just don't have the money to get a lawyer, so they just take a deal.
So we're railroaded for a lot of shit. Then you look at all the cases, like I said and say, where unless they have an overwhelming amount of evidence that a white person does something, they won't even take the case forward because they're afraid that there's going to be too much pushback, too much political peril. Like I said, they got decent lawyers. And heaven forbid, do they ever even want to look at the number of unsolved cases, which only 50, the United States as a whole only solves half their crimes. The other half just go completely unsolved. Forever.
Yeah, nobody put that statement out there. Nobody put that stat out there.
Right. Okay, so I'm like, okay, what about the other half of murders? Who's committing those? Oh, we don't know. Well, what if they're all white boys? Wouldn't that completely change the narrative? So again, if you're going to throw that narrative out, say, at least put the word 6% cause 50% of the solved homicide. They don't want to put that. They just want to like all of them. Like, no, you can't do that.
They don't want to do this.
They don't want to tell the whole truth.
They like the optics just like how it is, Rico. All right, so let's watch a little bit of this talk. MSNBC, shout out to MSNBC, and
that's my man Mehdi Hassan, the Muslim guy on the left.
Mehdi Hassan, Mehdi Hassan, and his show about the state of Texas versus Melissa Lucio.
Yeah.
The documentary, The State versus Melissa Lucio. We also have Cornell Law School professor and attorney for Melissa Lucio, Sandra Babcock, and Melissa's son, John Lucio. Thank you all for being here. Sandra, explain why you say this is the weakest capital case you've seen in 30 years of defense work in Texas.
Well, Melissa Lucio's case was based on false evidence, false scientific evidence, a false confession. And we know this not because I say so, but because experts from around the country, leading experts, have examined the evidence against Melissa and have concluded that her daughter Mariah died from injuries she incurred during a fall 2 days before she died. The evidence of the medical examiner at trial, the confession that was taken from Melissa, were actually based on lies. Melissa's insisted on her innocence 100 times when she was speaking to the police. But because she is a trauma survivor and because the police used outmoded interrogation tactics that were designed to elicit a confession, even if it wasn't true, Melissa eventually, she simply gave up after hours and hours of interrogation where the police.
What is going on with this lady? What's going on? Where we at now?
No, we at the point as she's explaining that, like I said, they're numerous. Matter of fact, that's probably almost the same technique that they used on the exonerated 5. how they got them and their parents up there in New York. And they got, they had the one guy, they got the false confession out of, most of them stuck with it, saying they didn't do it. Or I don't know if any of them ever said they did it. I thought maybe the one key guy did because he was just, browbeaten. But this is what the police do. This is standard police tactics for black and brown suspects that are brought in, where they immediately start a harsh interrogation to try to, before they give you a chance to consult with a lawyer, so on and so forth. They'll tell you don't really need one if you didn't do anything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Well, if you didn't do anything, you don't really need a lawyer. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They tell you shit like that. And especially, they do this. They historically have done that unbelievably to young black boys, that are not
always.
Adults
Always.
without parental representation and so forth. So she's speaking to that. And like you said, all the leading experts that said, the evidence in this case was ridiculously weak. But a jury gave this woman the death penalty.
Yeah.
And don't tell me race didn't have nothing. Don't tell me race ain't have a damn thing to do with it.
They don't play in Texas, man. Yeah. Man, Texas, they do not play, man. They will fry you like a hamburger, man. They don't. Not
everybody.
Well, you know what I mean. If you're black or brown or
there you go,
or poor,
you got to make sure you put that in there. Yes, exactly. Black, brown, or poor.
Yeah, if you any of those, one of those, any or all of those three.
Oh, ain't looking good for you.
You're gonna be they're gonna fry you, because like we were talking about earlier, here we got Casey Anthony.
Oh yeah.
And the mama called the police on her.
Mm-hmm.
She's out there today. She had to change her name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Marcus. What's going on, brother?
Well, hey, what's up? How y'all doing? Oh, geez.
Yeah, that's your neck
Uncle
of the woods,
Rico,
ain't it, Marcus?
Uncle Rico and Brooklyn. What's up? Where at?
That's your neck, Texas.
No, I live more towards Arizona and Arizona and Southern California side. That's where I'm at mostly.
Okay.
Sometimes New Mexico, but I don't really.
They don't play in Arizona either, man.
No, you get shot. You get shot if you're trying to run from the border.
Man. Arizona you can play either, man, out there. What's going on, Big Marcus? How you doing, man?
No, man. I just I had a day off and I was getting a little sick. My girlfriend got sick too, so we're kind of in separate rooms. Trying to be safe for Corona and stuff. Or sorry, not that. C19.
Okay, I know.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get you guys flagged, for saying the C word.
We appreciate you, brother Marcus.
So what's the topic right now?
Well, right now we're talking about the how the justice system is so jacked up and screwed up, and in particular, we're talking about this case of this Hispanic lady named Melissa Lucio, who in Texas was convicted of killing her daughter. I can't remember what her daughter's age was, and they gave her the death penalty, and she was supposed to be executed tomorrow.
Yeah,
tomorrow. So what was the clause? So what was the clause in being lenient on her?
They didn't have any leniency on her. They just the state just stepped in.
They gave her a stay of execution.
They gave her a stay, so she's still on death penalty to give, because her lawyers and them got so much information to see. I guess they looked at it and said, this is a pretty fucking flimsy case. So she's got the death penalty. They're trying to give them some more time to prove. They're trying to say she didn't do it, and the evidence looks like she didn't.
What happened is the lawyers found some evidence that they tried to suppress, and took it to a higher court, and the higher court told the lower court, no, you got to look at this again.
Yeah.
So this is not over.
So that's the stay.
That's what.
So right now, is it in Court of Appeals? Is that what they're trying to do, or no?
Yeah, they kicked it. The higher court sent it back down to the lower court to make them reconsider information that they ignored.
So
information that they said they wasn't going to watch, the higher court said, no, you motherfuckers better watch it. But see, Texas is known for that as well. They've already said they believe Texas done killed a few innocent people.
Yeah.
Cases
Oh, of course.
Just flat out.
But they admitted it. They admitted it sometimes years after what they did.
Yeah.
What the grievance of the family.
Right. Because they simply refuse to and this is how fucked up it is. They'll refuse to look at new information. Even if that information looks like it can clear you of the crime. They're just that fucked up. And I'm like, man,
but Rico, that is all to save the political career of the person that convicted her in the first place. They don't care about her. They can't. They don't want. See, what they care about is the wins and losses. As
conviction rate.
Yeah, exactly. Conviction rate. There you go, Marcus. Conviction rate. That's all they care about, man. So who cares if we send an innocent person to jail, but we close the case? We close the case.
Yeah.
That's how they think about it. And then if you want to bring it up after I'm retired, bring it up after I'm retired. But
yeah,
we gonna close this case, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, the point is we was trying to point out, Marcus, is the differences between how the justice system may work in some cases and somehow it doesn't. I don't know if you ever heard of Casey Anthony.
Yeah, I remember her. Crazy.
Okay.
Crazy.
Right? So here she go, and then even Rico was talking about Robert Blake. So these are cases where the people actually are considered to have actually murked up people, but they out here walking around on the street. And here they got this flimsy case against this lady, and they're about to fry her. They're about to throw in the frying pan, right? So he's talking about how things could be different, how things are different. We also was talking about a up and coming actor / rapper / ghostwriter, Kayleen Walker, and this guy had all these different opportunities in front of him, and he literally threw them away because he got convicted of ARPing 6 women.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Allegedly?
Huh?
No,
Allegedly?
he's convicted.
He convicted?
Yeah, ain't nothing alleged about his ass.
Okay. All right.
He's allegedly doing that time.
But the point is he had all these different he was in the movie Superfly, the remake of the movie Superfly.
Oh, is he that guy with that funky haircut?
Yes, he was in the movie Superfly. He was also in a movie with Halle Berry on Netflix. He was he was up and coming actor. Also, he was a ghostwriter. I don't know if he's a ghostwriter for TDE, but he was a ghostwriter for one of these record labels. Plus, he had his own music contract. I mean, this guy had millions. Guy was looking at millions of dollars in his near future, right? But because he could not stop chasing them women around, so he thought he was slick, Marcus. So what he did was he put together this program where he would go on IG and look for these IG models that was struggling, I guess, and then he would say, "Hey, I'll put you on, right? I'll take your picture and I'll put you on. I'll package you up right, and I'll take you to the right people because I'm doing well in the industry. I'll take you to the right people." Well, of course, he never packaged them right. He never took them to the right people. He took the pictures, but he never took them nowhere. And then he offered them money to sleep with them. And then when they wouldn't take the money, and they got nervous, he would send them home. But in the course of sending them home, which he would drive them home, he would ARP them in the back of his car.
Wow.
Yeah, and so because
he's convicted.
Convicted. Yeah, convicted.
Okay.
He's facing like 100 years. So anyway, so he and so we trying to figure out, Marcus, what is consent? What does that consent look like? Because this guy probably thought that they was consenting because they wasn't fighting him. But a lot of them said they wasn't fighting him because they were just terrified. They didn't know what else to do. They just let him do whatever they would do, trying to get out of there. Right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So those are the two issues we're talking about, man.
It's tough because, like, in the middle of things, when both people are turned on and into it, right? They'll say yes, but then sometimes one person will recant it. Usually it'll be a woman saying, "Hey, it's a regret," but they won't say it like that.
What does that mean?
saying they sometimes say that they'll take back their consent. I've heard of it before.
What does that mean when they take it back?
To me, it's saying that, I think the textbook definition, when you recant, you take back what you said, right?
Right. So, I mean, what does that mean that you're supposed to do when they recant it?
Well, I mean, in this case, get legal help, like hire a lawyer, because.
So you're talking about after the fact.
Right.
Oh, okay. But if they recant their consent in the middle, what does that mean?
Oh, yeah. Well, in that case, if it's right in the middle of it, then yeah, well, you got to get off. Like I would get off because I would feel uncomfortable.
Okay.
And she would feel uncomfortable, right?
Recant that Johnson.
Right.
Right.
That's
Put it back in your pants, basically.
Right.
You know?
So what
put
I'm
it back in
thinking
your
is in some of these cases, like Clarence was trying to, he's always being the damn devil's advocate. He's trying to say, well, some of these young men don't want to hear no. I'm like, I don't care if you mid-stroke and she say stop, your ass better freeze and back up out of there.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
There's no thing, oh, I'm gonna finish. No, you ain't. Because anything after stop, that's the ball game.
Yeah, because like what's that movie called again? Is it Daddy's Little Girls with Idris Elba? Where he kind of went through the same situation, but he was with the white girl, and then he
don't have one of those.
Yeah, he did his thing. He did his thing, right? And then the dad shows up. The dad is mad. Obviously, he doesn't want her sleeping around, let alone with the black guy.
Mm-hmm.
That from his reaction, and then he tells her, "Did he force you? Did he force himself upon you? Did he make you do it without your consent?" Stuff like that. He's like, "Yeah, like So stuff like that can happen too, right? Because I've heard of cases like that where, hey, like the situation happens, and then all of a sudden, your parents get mad or you regret it, and then that's where I'm kind of coming at it as well, because it's confusing because there's a gray, right? There's a gray area. That's where sometimes certain people will abuse the law, because I've seen that too.
I don't know if it's a gray area, Marcus. I don't know, man. When they say stop.
No. I'm saying like after they're done, after they consented, but for some reason they regret it and they want to be petty about it and say, hey.
Yeah, right. But see, the thing is though, I hear that a lot, but I'm just like, I hear this a lot. And I know I was a greasy motherfucker in the street. I just know I was out there. My virginity left me at a very young age. That's how, when we was talking about that conversation with Zaya Wade earlier, I was like, no, because I know I first became sexually active. I might have been 12. So at a very early age.
Holy smokes.
Yeah, ain't nobody take it from me. It's like I was with my boys, and one of my boys' sister, her name was Pissy Peaches, and everybody took a turn. I took a turn too.
Hey.
But that's growing up in the hood. Right. So what I'm saying is I keep hearing guys say all these women having all this regret and this remorse and this, that, whatever. And I've known a lot of girls that probably have. I just ain't known a lot of them that would make false charges. Personally, I believe that every woman has slept with a man that they was like, I wish I hadn't have gave him no pussy. At least one. But most of them ain't running around pressing that charge on them of raping them after the fact. So having regret after the act and being pushed to the point that you're going to put a charge of ARP on a person, that's a big leap for me to believe that something else didn't happen. Now, maybe I do believe that there are cases where, people are like, oh, she just mad because I'm like, come on.
You didn't give her a relationship.
Yeah, but come on. Sure, she gonna be mad about that. I had hundreds of them mad at me about ending the relationship. Ain't none of them never claimed I arced them.
No. I'm saying like you claim like you're gonna promise them a relationship, promise they were gonna be your boyfriend.
I spent the first half of my life lying to get in panties. But that's just the whole point. That's what happens. You guys gotta understand. Why would the woman? So now if she's mad enough to do that, she must have loved you. And she gave you her cookies. So now you're saying this person who deeply, deeply felt for you decide that the person that she loved, she's somehow going to charge with art as if that's going to make him want to be with her. Or why would they even do that to someone that they love? If in fact all of this is made up. This is what I'm saying. I do believe that there is a percentage of women vindictively, for whatever reason, make false claims. I just keep hearing this narrative being painted like, okay, 80% of the dudes in jail for art didn't do it. And I'm like, nah, because a lot of that shit, they have physical evidence in a lot of those cases. Today, woman claim art, she got to go to the hospital and she got to get an art kit. See what I'm saying? That's why I keep telling you guys, no, there has to be some corroborating evidence. And those nurses and doctors that don't give a fuck, they're going to check them walls, them vaginal walls, and they're going to check for swab, and they're going to check for this, and they're going to check for that. And a dude will be saying, oh, I didn't even sleep with her. Well, goddamn it, we found your semen inside her.
Yeah, you got to explain that one.
But see, that, you know what I'm saying? So when you look at all those art cases, all of them say they're innocent. I'm just sitting there saying is, I'm not accepting the premise that 80% of them are false.
Right.
I believe that there might be a percentage. There may be 5% that were falsely accused, but I'm like, there was some sort of evidence that made them falsely charge you. And that's the thing that I try to tell young men. The same way that I think Mr. Tulio said earlier about the young women got to take some responsibility for, remember that, Clarence?
Yeah.
These young men got to take some responsibility for putting themselves in a position to be charged with that shit.
That's what I'm saying.
It goes that way too.
We got it.
So
okay,
you
y'all.
talking about you keep getting false charges? What the fuck are you doing?
Can I bring up something before you go to Dr. Hood next?
Sure.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So there's a case. Do you guys remember called the Clements case, the Clements Aguirre case?
No, I don't.
So it was a Latino guy. I believe he was from Salvador. He was Salvadorian, and at the time, I don't know what was happening, but he had gone to like a nightclub or a bar right around that area, and they had said that they had alleged that they had there was a woman that had got raped, right, and he was the guy closest to the scene at the time, or one of the closest ones to the scene at the time. They pointed at him. They put him in prison, and they put him away for life or death row. It was one of those. And then the Innocence Project. He made a call to the Innocence Project, called him up. The judge and everybody, the prosecutor that put him in there, they try to cover up the evidence. They try to use Q-tips. They try to use forensics. They try to use all that, the swab, the DNA. Turns out throughout all those years that he was in prison. Turns out it was somebody else, and they had tried to make it seem like it was him. So they had falsified evidence. Next thing you know, the Innocence Project, the lawyers that work for them, they get him out of prison. They clear him. Guess who was the person that had put him through all that stuff that was trying to blockade the evidence? The judge at the time. Our honorable vice president. Kamala Harris. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the part. They're not really looking at the life of the person that they trying to put away. They just want wins and losses, man. They just want the wins. That's all they care about. And then they don't want to have a what they call a clawback on a record where they have to claw back a case and they put an innocent man in prison. They don't want to have to do that. So rather they just let the innocent man stay in prison. Right?
Yeah.
That's how they get down. Hold on, y'all.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me do some shout outs real quick. Shout out to Brother Osmosis. Glad that Osmosis said I got a false charge before. Be careful out here. I think we all have been under the radar at one point or another.
Nah, but wait. We all haven't. I don't think most of us got false grape charges.
No. I mean, you just have you
right. So that's why I was wondering, like when he said got false charges, is he talking specifically about grape?
I don't think he's talking about grape.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I never got charged for that, but I got charged.
Just talking about random charges. Yeah, okay, I get that, but
yeah,
grape is a pretty
I'm
heavy.
assuming he's talking about not a actual
something minor,
charge,
probably something
but
minor.
like what the woman said, hey, you're going too far, you're going too fast, or something like that.
Okay,
I
remember. We got to be careful about the language and how we're discussing this because, and even though I hear Rorschach, I'm like, Rorschach, that's a heavy lift you putting out there in that statement saying that. Oh, okay. So you got a false grape charge?
False grape charge? Ouch.
Okay, I need you to come up here and discuss that with me a little bit more in detail.
Yeah, man, you know, as much of it as you can.
Right, I ain't saying you got to name no names or anything like that. I'm just trying to figure out the mechanics of how it happened and then what did they do involved. I would hope you would come up here and explain it was more than just the woman saying it. Were you arrested or did they just investigate it and drop the charges? Then sure, okay, that's fine. But I don't know, so I would have to hear a little bit more. And then the whole thing about the I will say this, Rorschach, in the past, say back in the 20s, 30s, 40s, and 50s, yeah, it was common for white women to say that black men raped them after they slept with them. Now I don't know if it's common now.
Osmosis said he did have a false grape charge.
Yeah, I know. That's why I asked him to come up and see if he could just opine on it a little bit. But I'm looking at Rorschach's statement where he's saying how it's very common. We got to be careful about that.
Okay, y'all. Osmosis is gonna come up here and tell us all he can. Osmosis, don't get yourself in no trouble, man. Don't say no names or nothing. But
because if they ask me, I'm telling the truth on the witness stand. I'm telling you.
You can tell us what happened, man, as best as you can, brother. What's going on, brother?
I think he froze. Okay, you good? You good?
Osmosis, can you hear us?
Freezing up a little bit.
Osmosis, can you hear us? Oh yeah, he went down. Okay,
they don't want to let him speak, man. YouTube doesn't want to let him speak. He said, "Say so now, or forever hold your tongue in peace."
Okay. I do want y'all to address this comment that Rorschach said. Okay, Rorschach said if the woman recants in the middle of the act and does not provide sufficient communication, then the issue is on her.
Recanting sufficient communication.
Hold on. Wait. We'll get back to Rorschach. Osmosis. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't be up long. I just didn't want to put a paragraph in the chat.
Thanks. But appreciate you coming and joining us, brother.
For sure. But yeah, so this charge I got, right, and this is why I say it's kind of dangerous. Mm-hmm. The girl that said was pursuing me pretty heavy. I was out of town one day and I came back from work. I think I was gone for like 3 weeks or something. And a friend of mine wanted me to go out to the bar with him. I was like, whatever. I'll kick it for an hour or so. But I took his car. Well, I rode with him. So after the bar, him and his friends, the floozies, they're trying to hit on me and whatnot. And I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. Well, I'm trying to go back to the crib. So yeah, taking me back to my car. I'm trying to get out of here. And they refuse basically. So basically how it plays out, we end up just going from the bar. They say they're gonna take me to the crib because I'm in their car. And they just take us to, his homegirl's house, one he's rocking with. So I'm like, I guess, what I'm saying? Like I said, this girl is being real thirsty. I'm not really trying to get into it. But I'm like, you just go with the vibe. I'm like, all right, cool. So long story short, we do the thing. And then I find out later, not only is she in a relationship, she's like, she has a girlfriend or whatever. I find out after the fact. So I guess the girlfriend came home and found out this girl messed around. And so the girl basically was like, oh, I got raped. I didn't cheat on you. I got raped. So that's how I didn't know nothing about this. I just started hearing. It was like, hey, they're asking questions, And I was like, wow, what? Like a week later or something. So they bring up that situation. And I kind of tell my homeboy, like, yeah, man, you was there. That wasn't me. You know what I'm saying? This girl was all on me. I wasn't even trying to be, I wasn't even trying to kick it with y'all like that. So he's like, oh, whatever, the police are involved because she claimed this or whatever. So I was like, damn. So I'm just chilling or whatever. So long story short, she got a grape kit and she did all the investigation stuff. And basically the cops and I guess, our friends that was there, the stories didn't line up. And they was like, yeah, we don't really see a case here.
Okay.
So I was like, cool. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I'm saying. You gotta be careful out here because this is where you can get messed up. So I'm like, all right, cool. You know, there's no real case. So then I kept hearing like that the police was still trying to contact me weeks later. And I was like, for what? Because I ain't talked to him at this point, you know what I'm saying? I just don't, obviously you just don't want to just start talking. So, I kind of was about to be like, let me just talk to him. Just go ahead and get my part of the story. And I was like, I tried to get a lawyer, I tried to drop a 10 because then I'm kind of freaking out a little bit. Because I'm like, why are they still talking about this? And so I tried to pay, this lawyer is pretty solid. He didn't take my money. Like, I was trying to come off 10K right there. Like, here, handle this. I don't know what they got going on. And he basically was like, I'll look into it for the free. I ain't gonna hold you. And he basically told me this, the stuff he found, the grape kit was clean and there was no issues, whatever with the police report. And he was like, look, the issue is they just want to get a case and somebody's probably trying to get a win here. So they want you to talk and basically implicate yourself for grape. So he's saying, like, if you go tell them, like, if you confirm you did have a situation with her, at all, period, it's like they're going to use anything you say and put you in jail. So he was like, just don't say nothing. I already looked at it. There's no case. He's like, he was telling me, he was like, this happens a lot. The police will just do this thing for, like, if you're a decent dude and you wasn't out here raping nobody, they'll still use that so they can get it in the file and then, somebody somewhere can get a win and move up in their career. And he's like, just make sure you're not one of those people. Just don't talk and it's going to disappear. And that's really what happened. I didn't talk,
So long story short, niggas be getting themselves locked up by running their mouth.
Yeah, but the thing is the situation, like I said.
But she didn't have accountability.
No, she didn't. But the fact of the matter is, like I said, they're still trying.
Yeah.
They were still trying to put the case on. If he'd have went down there trying to be like that guy, Mr. Walker, talking too damn much, he possibly could have talked himself into something. He got good legal advice. Keep your mouth shut.
Yeah, and that's because, you could be a good dude. Because I was just gonna be like, I ain't do nothing wrong. I'll just go talk to him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you could get in that situation, but ignorance, like a lot of people just think I'm just gonna be a good person to talk about it because I know nothing went on. But so had I went and talked, so I don't know.
But they
like,
put bodies on people. Get
But
bodies put on them for doing that same thing.
But osmosis, but come on, a lot of these prosecutors, they'll take advantage of you're a good dude, and they can make you break you. They'll take advantage of that good dude and break him and put him in prison.
That's why but that's the same thing we talking about Miss Lucio case. She, talking to them and they use that fucked up technique and they sit there and they just hours and hours and hours and hours and days on end. And you just want to get the hell out of there. So you get to the point where, like, I'm going to tell them whatever they want to hear so they can leave me alone. And before you know it, you done admitted to something that you didn't even do.
Yeah.
And that's the thing where you got to be careful.
I just tell dudes be careful. I mean, ever since that, I'm kind of chill and slow.
You move differently, right?
If you too tipsy, you don't had,
I don't want it.
Sometimes if you're drinking at all, I'm just like, I'm cool.
I don't want it.
Not really.
I don't want it.
Or you can get my number and hit me up, another day when you're in your right mind. But I'm not about to. But I just want to say that just because people do get caught. Obviously, there are grapes out there, but you know what I'm saying? That obviously could have went bad for me. You know what I'm saying? That was like maybe 2 months, and I was asking the lawyer, like, yo, so what's going to happen? He's like, look, it'll be a felony. You won't ever show up on a warrants list. They're just going to come get you if they really had a case on you.
Exactly.
So it's not something I could even track. So it was like 2 months of stress. Like I don't even know what's about to happen.
If they had a case, they would have came and got your ass. They don't come get you. They don't have a case. But that confirms my point. What I said earlier, Clarence. They have to investigate it and find out if they got enough information to make an arrest.
That's what I want to ask you.
But I want to say because. I never got picked up, but I just wanted to speak to how far they're willing to go.
But
she already did the. Hold on, Marcus, just a second, because she already got the grape kit. They already got the witnesses, like our friends that was there and saw the whole situation, and they already got all that, and they still was trying to pursue getting charged. You know what I mean? So
look in the mirror. Why do you think they was trying to do it? Look in the mirror, bro.
I know.
Bro, look in the mirror. I bet if your ass was white, they wouldn't have been doing that. They would be like, "Oh, you good, Mr. Osmosis? You good? You good? Look in the mirror. You just another nigga they can throw away, and they don't think nothing about." And that's the reality I keep trying to tell young men like yourself. You are not going to get the same benefit of the doubt as Brad.
Yeah.
Okay. You're not going to get the benefit of the doubt as Brad. Look at the Stanford swimmer. They found on top of the fucking girl drunk fucking her. He got 6 month probation.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They found him. The dude had to pull him off the fucking girl, but he was Brad. Your ass would have got 60 years.
Hey, that's what I was thinking. Man, look, I'm like looking at my career, looking at everything. I'm like, it's over.
Yeah.
You are not going to get the same benefit of the doubt as Brad. That's it.
But Osmosis, why do you think she decided to do something like that?
Because that lesbian was going to kick his ass. You better be glad her girlfriend didn't catch you.
She's not the first, you know, it's not the first time I've heard of something like that. I just didn't think I'd be in that position. It's just, you know, fear does a crazy thing. I just think she just did out of fear. Like I said, I talked to my homeboy about it, and that was their friends. Like I knew him, I didn't know those girls. So, but he knew them. So I talked to him, and basically he told me like the whole story about how you know, because they lingered around after the fact. They got donuts and all that stuff, and I was just like, well, I'm going to the crib, you know, next morning. And he was basically saying like once the girlfriend came home, how you know she was screaming and like, oh, it looks like it looked like there was a party going on type shit. So
let me ask you.
So I was saying it was just out of fear. She just bust that out, but you'd be surprised how many women would just do that out of fear just to cover their bases.
Yeah. Well, again, that was a common tactic, especially for white women after they had sex. You know.
Oh, she was white.
Oh, see them.
Oh no.
Come on. I mean, come on. I kind of knew that. I kind of knew that, but I didn't want to go there.
She was white?
Yeah, so you fucked up several ways, okay?
Damn it, Osmosis.
I even tell y'all, look, when y'all move with them, if you better make sure that bitch got a track record. You better be the 110th fucking brother to go up in there. Oh no, she done been fucking niggas forever.
And that's why I brought up the Daddy's Little Girl reference to Idris Elba.
Yeah. But me and the dude's not cool no more. But
you better not be.
Well, not just off of that. He was just doing some other. But still, you know, after I talked to him, he kind of like started to like, oh yeah, man, she be dramatic and this and that. And I'm like, you know, you didn't tell me that up front. Like I'm dealing with the, you know. But again, once you start messing,
get you another Becky. Get you another Becky.
You start messing with that liquor and all that type of stuff. Look, I ain't never had a black woman do nothing like that, but I had a black woman make a questionable implication, but they never would go that far to file.
So let me ask you this. So then, and I'll be honest with you, I will say that too. When I hear a black woman put the charge on a black man, I'm not saying I outright believe her minus evidence. I need to have corroborating evidence. But I know that I don't think they are as quick or as likely to make that false allegation as the Beckys will.
Yeah. Well, the black girl that she just made a weird statement. That's where I kind of started understanding. A lot of women don't like the responsibility of, you know, the fact that they made a decision. And that's kind of like why women want to be taken wine and dine, swayed, and do all this stuff, you know, because they want to kind of feel like it's not he swayed me into being with them. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a badge of honor in a weird way. So I don't like, you know, that's just always a weird dynamic, and the lines can get blurred. You know what I'm saying? Even if a woman chose you, she still will want to feel like it was you that chose her. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like to get involved. Once that mentality is there and liquor's involved, I just think the lines just get too blurred. You know what I'm saying? That's what I said. So, like I said the other night with the whole alcohol thing, I'm kind of like chill with the alcohol. You know, I'm just not really gonna get involved with no women that just, you know, I'm not gonna be hunting down no women that just tipsy past beyond reason.
But let's also look at other cases where people are falsely accused and they don't have the money to pay for a private lawyer. That public defender will screw you in the ass a lot of times, and they'll set you up for failure. By the way, Rico, you're muted.
I mean, that dude, he, you know what I'm saying, like, he didn't take my money, But I think he's a black lawyer, and I think he just kind of
brothers looking out for brothers.
He probably seen the fear in me, honestly, and he was just like, "Fuck it."
But you know what, though, Osmosis, he might have looked at the case and probably figured, like, what am I gonna take this man money for when he ain't really got nothing to worry about, as long as he keep his fucking mouth shut.
Yeah, it could be.
So and as any decent lawyer would like, dude, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Just shut the fuck up. Now, if you go down there and running your mouth, then they lock your ass up. I'm gonna need that $10K to come get your dumb ass out.
Well, look, this is how far the police was going. They said I never talked to them, but they were begging just for one of the people that people that was with us, just to even give them my last name. Well, just to give them my last name. It was like, all right, well, if he didn't do nothing wrong, well, at least what's his last name? And it gives them more opportunity to look me up, I guess. But I'm saying that police will go again. Like the lawyer was telling me, there's just somebody out there somewhere that's kind of like, oh, there's a possible case and biting at the chomp.
Somebody after someone who looks like you. Don't leave that part out. They looking for people who look like us, Osmosis.
I'm denying that.
All right, gentlemen.
But I'm gonna drop down though.
All right. Hey, look, thank you for sharing that.
Thank you, Osmosis. Thank you.
Peace, Osmosis.
Thank you for sharing that, brother. Appreciate you, man. Have a great day. Okay, so gentlemen, there's a couple things. Number one, we got to discuss what consent looks like because everybody doesn't understand. Well, first things first. That you have what's called Miranda rights, right? You have what's called Miranda rights. If you don't know your Miranda rights, you have certain rights as an American citizen that if you are going to
you have the right to remain silent. Anything will be used against you in the court of law. If you can't afford a lawyer, one will be appointed to you.
Like you heard this before, Marcus.
Hey, I've been falsely accused, but for some minor stuff, right? For some minor stuff, not no major stuff.
Here's the point.
Got that shit memorized.
If you don't know your Miranda rights, there's one Miranda right that you need to follow all the time.
The right to remain
silent.
Shut up.
Silent. Remain silent.
That's it.
Ask for a lawyer. But I'm gonna go to jail. I'm gonna have to spend a night in jail. That's okay. That's okay. You can spend a night in jail. That's not no.
Yeah, man. It's the fact that they said anything you say can be used against you. That's the thing that kills.
Even the recorded phone lines. Even the
we
recorded
can't
phone
use
lines.
any of this for me. It's got to be against me. So remember that.
And and like Doc, they're gonna say, "Oh, I'm your friend." The one guy's gonna come in and say, "I'm your friend." Yeah, just talk to me. I just want to know the truth. It's like, remember when your girlfriend would say something like this to you? Just tell me you did it. That's all. Just tell me. It's okay. Just tell me. As soon as you tell her, she tear the whole house up, right? I'm saying you just don't. You just gotta get you a lawyer. You gotta get you a lawyer, and that's okay. And a lot of times, if you just do that, if you just remain silent, you can walk away from a lot of different things. I've seen a lot of guys just walk away from something just from shutting their mouths, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. The next thing, gentlemen, is what does consent look like in 2022?
I like to go first.
Okay, come on, Jay.
I'm sorry, Rod.
I don't think Dr. Hood went though.
And because we've talked many times with my friends about this shit, like when we were young, as opposed when you were first 18 to opposed when you're 21. And I heard Rico say something earlier. I'll address that in a second, but let me say this, guys. In this day and age, no one ever says yes. It's more of a nod, and you have to be able to read the atmosphere for you to even touch her, to be real. And I know that's not what people say yes, but that's the definition of yes nowadays. Turn that damn thing off. And a lot of y'all cats get it confused where it's like, well, she's naked, of course, and go. That's a tease, brother. You don't know yet. You would think that, like what Rico said earlier about the freaking lady just walking around naked. That's freaking crazy. I'm like, dude, no. That's wilding. That's wilding as hell. I mean, shit, you'll get a charge one day from that shit. So don't do that. And number two is this. In order to the prerequisite for all legal sex is consent. In order to consent, both parties have to be capable of consent. Not just her, you too. You can't be under the influence of any mind-altering or mind psychotropic shit. Otherwise, you can't consent by definition. And that's just facts. And even if she's coming to you drunk, it's considered you know what that is. We'll use EPAR is what it is. So it does not matter. Does not matter under the law. So and even if she consents to it, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I don't care whatever loopholes that y'all like to come up with, that shit don't work, bro. That's why if she's on some no shit, pardon my French, brother Clint. I'm sorry, man. If she's on some no stuff, to let her know for it. I'm not down to play games. This no stuff, I'm not playing games. If you say no, I'm stopping, I'm leaving, and I'm going on my day. I've done that before, and a woman got pissed at me because I did that. I don't care. You can't be. Don't ever say okay. First, I can't say don't ever say no. Don't play that no shit. It's annoying and it's a pain in the ass, and I'm not getting a charge. So, gentlemen, I need to take that seriously. Nowadays, people think as well. Obviously, she took off her clothes. That means consent. No, it does not, dude. You got to be smart. In this day and age, everybody just nods. Yes. No one ever physically says. I'll be honest. No one ever physically says yes. I'm gonna tell Brother Clarence and Rico that. New age ladies, they don't say yes. They don't say yes. You have to read the signals. And I hate that because you got to be a goddamn psychic to figure this shit out. If I wasn't good at reading people, then my ass probably be in jail right now. Yeah. I'm gonna be real about that. But that's what consent looks like normally. I just went through all the variables for everybody who's watching. Brother Clarence, Brother Rico, if y'all have a retort to that, I'm willing to answer it. But honestly, that's what it is. What the law is and what it is nowadays. It's still the same thing. You still have to be able to consent, both of you. If both of you are drunk, I'm gonna say this right here before I end it. If both of you are drunk, that's different. I can't blame either of y'all. Both of y'all are at fault for being drunk. But no one can play victim or the other. You're both wasted. So it doesn't matter.
All right.
Because I can't even blame it on the dude at that point too. As much as I'd like to, no. It's her fault too. But that's all I gotta say, Brother Clarence. Anybody else can go.
All right, brother.
Yeah, Dr. Hood. Yeah.
Doc, you got something?
I
love
that
name, Dr. Hood.
That was good. That was good. Now, hey, the drunk thing, they wasted. I mean, for us men, I don't want to go do both sides. Women, they conduct themselves the way, us men, of course, we got to be more careful, how we move. So, if they drunk and, all of this, and like he said, on the fence, half-ass, want to do it 1 minute, then not, that's a good cue to leave. I think a lot of dudes with a lot of status, I don't really know that Walker guy, but apparently he got a little status or something. That could be intimidating for females sometimes. They kind of feel pressured into it, because of somebody's status, rather if they're a musician or an athlete or something like that. So you got to make sure that you're not taking advantage of your status. Let's say you got money or you might be a neighborhood superstar or whatever. Just now it's real dicey. Always dealing with somebody from a club, one night stand type of deal. That's always dicey. Even if you don't get some type of charge or whatever, just not knowing somebody and she might have a man, it could be a lot deeper than what I'm saying. So and everybody gonna do what they do, and I probably couldn't say all this stuff when I was younger, and then most people don't think about getting in trouble while they're getting in trouble, so it might be something that when you're moving around, just always have it on your head. Like, you got to protect yourself and these type of things can happen. But building relationships and, having, not 100 different females and just ripping and running. I mean, that's probably something that would have helped out a lot of people, so they ain't running out here chasing tail, because you never know. You can get the underage. I seen the underage females
look a certain age, and then you know, maybe their parents find out about the situation, and then you know, I seen guys get I wouldn't say charged, but you know, it didn't get to the district attorney. You know what I'm saying? It was like something that, you know, the parents knew about. It was, ooh, they said they was gonna do this, and you know, and really nothing came out of it. But you see the severity of it and what it could have been, you know. So it's rough out here with us men, but we gotta move different because you know nobody wants to protect us. So you know, it's
We
up
got
to
to
us.
protect ourselves with a
What
little
they
bit
say,
more
ignorance of the law is not an excuse.
No, no.
They told me that. I was like, oh wow.
Doc. Hey Doc,
Yes,
I got
sir.
a question for you, man. Are you married or are you dating?
Nah, I might as well be married. I'm not married. You know, I don't really believe in the oh, I do, but I mean, obviously I don't, because I would have been married.
But Doc, are you actively dating, or you got
No,
one person?
no. I got a house full of kids. You know what I'm saying?
So,
Them days are over. I'm 42 now, so them days been over. I probably ain't messed around, you know, in the streets 8 years or you know, almost 10 years or something. You know what I'm saying? Out, you know, doing whatever. You know what I'm saying? I've been at the crib. You know what I'm saying? So,
Okay, right on.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
because the reason why I'm asking you that, Doc, is because I was gonna try to ask you what dating at your age, because you sound like a mature brother, and you are. You said you're 42. I wanted to see what consent looked like at an older age. But since you already said, hey, I'm done. I'm already out the game. Okay. Then.
Well, I know what consent is, though.
Okay. Well, what does it look like
so we're talking about, because if it's somebody you already had relations with, you know, that's a whole nother.
No. Not nobody you had relationship with, Doc.
So this is somebody fresh new.
You met at the club.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Well, we're gonna talk. See, I'm a very articulate person, so I like to talk. Like, if this is what we're gonna do, and if this is, you know what I'm saying, whatever, I mean, this is what we're gonna be talking about. Like, do you want to do that? You know, how you feel, you know, different things. You know, I don't mind, you know, saying that type of stuff. I've never been the guy that I always give them an out, you know. Always give a lady an out. Like, if this is something that you don't want to do, give her plenty of space to, you know, don't pressure, you know, don't make it seem like, okay, we're about to go back to this house and then, you know, we turn off the lights and, you know, that's it, you know. So I always give a good out, so that, you know, if this is something that you really don't want to do, you know, this is somebody that's freshly new or something, I mean, it's definitely gonna save you some time, you know.
Okay, Doc, what does that out look like? What is a you say you give?
I tell them, I say, you don't want to do this, you know, we don't have to.
Exactly.
Okay.
Simple as that.
You have to be pretty fucking vulgar.
You know, like I ain't really tripping. I tell her, like, I ain't really tripping. I know, you know, blah blah blah. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, this is what we gonna do. I mean, hey, you know, but
what's wrong with you saying, are we fucking or not?
That's cool too.
I mean,
that's cool.
That works too.
Well, a lot of times, if it's somebody just fresh new that you never knew, or just say from a club or something situation, because there's a lot of times guys get themselves in this situation. I see it a lot, and it's with somebody brand new, you know, and I don't know how a female's feels, and a lot of times their refusal skills, some females are different than others, you know. Some females just don't know how to say no, you know.
Right.
But see,
so it's not like they're saying yes, they just don't know how to say no.
But my thing is, we at the club or the bar, and you talk about going home with me, I'm asking you, are we fucking or not? And if you say no, then what are you going home with me for?
Yeah, exactly.
No.
Exactly.
I don't want to take you home.
You a free ride.
Yeah.
No, I'm coming to my home. Now I can drop you off at yours. But if you talking about, oh, come on, Rico, I'm gonna go with you to your house, and I'm just out there at you like, well, what are we gonna do? You know, what are we gonna do when we get
Shout out
there?
to Sister Reza Neal.
And you start that, well, we could talk. I'm like, shit, we talking here. What we gonna do when we get there? If not, you can go and go home.
Exactly.
Rico. Yeah. I never
Okay, well, go
never.
home. Then go home.
What kind of a girl do you think I am, Rico?
I'm the kind that understand English. We fucking or not. That's it. I'm
My
speaking
man
English.
Rico.
There's no good men out here anymore.
Nope,
There's no
I ain't
good
one
men out
either.
here anymore.
Because for
I ain't a
me,
sucker.
Like my dad.
it doesn't even make a whole lot of sense. I mean, my thing is, I do get that one point with young men because I same way. I won't be all rubbed up on and got excited for no reason. You know what I'm saying? So I think if you as a young man allow yourself to be baited into a position where you let somebody put a lot of false expectation and belief in your head, that's your goddamn fault.
Right.
I think that happened to me like maybe once. And from that point on, I learned going forward that, look, I know women play games. So I'm asking, I always ask, I probably the first time, maybe 15, 16, some girl, I'm like, it was a girlfriend. It was my girlfriend's. And she had me come over and then went on, I'm on my period. Man, I was so fucking mad.
Come on
and
over, Rico.
At that time, I had never done no red wings, none of that shit. And I'm like, I'm laying there, she a big old
Come on over.
I'm so excited. I'm getting, we used to call it getting the blue balls. I like to cry that night laying next to that woman. I was so mad. And I said, I will never, from that point on, I learned then, if I know I had in my mind any inkling of getting sex, I deliberately, and even to this day, up until I met my wife. Shit, first time she came over, we fucking or what? Because if we ain't, you ain't coming over here get me all worked up. Nothing.
Rico.
But let me ask y'all this, because we all men here, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
So, have you had a long-term relationship with somebody that was a one-night stand?
Huh?
Have you had a one-night stand and it turned into a long-term relationship?
Yeah, I've had a couple.
I haven't had that happen to me.
I had a couple. You thought it was gonna be a one-night stand, but the booty was good, so you kept going back and just on and on and on.
Well, just somebody that it happened that one night, boom, and then God knows how, but it ended up being, because my point was like 9 times out of 10, that person that's just gonna give it to you right there, she probably ain't the one anyway.
Right. They never are.
So with that being said, I mean, you got to move real smart, because that's who you're dealing with. I don't want to say scallywag, that might be somebody's wife, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? I mean, well, 9 times out of 10, it's probably somebody that's not for you. It's not, anybody that you're going to value. So, I mean, anything could happen in that situation when you're dealing with people that you don't value. They don't value you, And if a lot of times, well, in my dating years, I always wanted the best fruit I could find, So if I thought it was that good of fruit, what I'm saying, I don't need it today. I could always talk to her, see, get to know her. It's somebody that I don't want to just pump and dump, It's probably somebody quality. So it's like, okay, let me talk to her. Let me get her number, talk to her a few times, maybe go to eat. I don't see nothing wrong with that. I mean, I'm not spending a whole bunch of money. People spend money on all kind of stuff. Why not somebody that you're interested in? Or, I mean, you ain't even really spending nothing. What's $40, $50 for a dinner or a movie or something? That's nothing,
All right, Doc, let me ask Rico this. Rico, what does consent look like?
It's permission. It's an agreement. It's an agreement to sexual intercourse by both parties.
Is it on paper?
The male's got to give consent
verbal?
too.
Is it?
Yeah, it's definitely verbal. It's definitely verbal. Verbal is ironclad. Now, if you want to rely on signals and you misread the signals, that's on you. Verbal is ironclad. Okay, that's we fucking or not. Yes, we're fucking. Okay. That's ironclad.
Right.
That's and the consent, people don't think it's not just the woman's right to give a consent. The man's got to give consent as well.
Right.
Okay.
You both have to give consent. I consent to have sexual intercourse with you. You consent to have sexual intercourse with me. Let's engage in the intercourse. If at any point in time, if I decide, look, I don't want to do it no more, she's got to stop.
Okay.
That's the law. But again, if she sit there and like, oh, I seen this bulge in your pants, I'm like, that's not giving you consent to grope me. That's not giving you consent to do anything to me. No more than I can sit there and say, well, you got on that short skirt or that sundress with the split all the way up the thigh. You know what I'm saying? I see a lot of things that I like. That's not consent. The fact that she's wearing a low-cut blouse with big old boobs and the split up the side and smelling good and looking and keep sashaying in front of me, that's not consent.
Right.
Now I can misread it as that.
Let me give you an example.
Go ahead.
Okay. There's a guy right now that I think he turned 20. Then he turned 20. He got hit with child support papers.
Okay.
He had sex. This lady had sex with him when he was 16 years old.
Mm-hmm.
The lady, I think, was 20, or 22, or 23, something like that.
Okay.
So now she wants child support. They had a baby. This sex ended up having a baby. Now she wants child support from him. He's like, I never gave you consent. I never gave you consent. I was too young to give you consent.
How old was he?
16, I think. 16 or 15, something like that.
I mean, there is an age of consent. So
he was just under the age of when he could give consent.
Huh?
He was just under the age of giving consent.
Well,
but my point is, he didn't legally, he couldn't give consent. He's not legally able to give consent.
Well, if he's not of the age to give consent, that's great.
It should be, right?
It is.
But she never got charged. And as a matter of fact, she's taking him to court for child support because he's in the military.
I would have to know what state that is, but the bottom line, in most places, the age you have to be the age of consent to give consent.
You have to be what?
You have to be of age to give consent.
That's what I'm saying. He wasn't of the age to give consent. But they're going to charge him. They want child support from him.
If that's his child, that's his child.
But how can you charge him for the child support if he wasn't able to give you consent for the child?
Because that's still his child.
You basically stole the child, Rico. You basically stole it. It's
still his child. You can sit there. She can be arrested for rape. He still got a child that he fathered.
But he didn't father the child.
Yes, he did father the child. He fathered it without consent, but he still fathered the child. It doesn't matter.
How can you father the child without consent, Rico?
Fathering a child is he's biologically the father of that child.
Now I agree with that.
He's ejaculated in that woman, whether he gave consent or not.
But he did not consent to the birth of the child.
You don't have to consent to the birth of the child. That's the craziest shit I ever heard.
So he trying to get out of the responsibility because of his age.
I'm gonna put Rico in a legal headlock.
You ain't putting me in no legal headlock. That's something. That's
what the fuck?
I mean, if he did get off the hook, that would be the reason why he would get off the hook. But
legal headlock.
Yeah, you can't. No,
I never heard nothing like that.
All of you guys, listen. So his argument is he's not responsible for this child because what happened. He wasn't able to give consent. Therefore, he shouldn't be held responsible for this child.
Well, that's not gonna wash. He's gonna lose that.
Yeah, he's gonna lose because there was no charges.
I understand you. I'm just telling you.
I mean, that's a blatant argument, really. There's nothing to back it up. Because, I mean, on one hand, no, I like how you say he has no consent.
Right.
That's funny as hell to me. No, bro. Listen, your consent went out the damn window the minute you you did what you did. So when you show up the club, there's consequences, bro. So
but
you should have protected yourself. I don't give a damn. He should have protected himself.
Yeah.
I don't give a okay, pardon my French.
Yeah.
I don't give a D whatever the hell these ladies say when they says, "Oh, I'm on birth control." F that.
Right. The consent
I don't care.
The consent revolves around the sex act, not the birth of the child.
Right.
So the consent is strictly around the woman having sex with an underage minor.
Okay.
That's fine.
Let me do it this way. Let me say it like this.
Wait, was he underage?
Yes, he was underage. That's my point.
Hold on, wait, how old was he?
He was like 15 when this lady was like 20 when she got.
She was 20.
Yeah, she was like 20. She was grown.
F that. No, yo. Oh, okay. I gotta rethink this now. Even then, no. He's still gonna lose that argument.
Right.
He's still gonna lose that argument.
Exactly, because the child, it has nothing to do with the birth of the child. The only thing consent goes to is the sex act, because you got to give consent whether there's someone gets pregnant or not. It's the same issue. The child is separate.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this dude Kalani ain't get none of them girls pregnant, but he still didn't have consent. He can't go. Well, none of them had a baby. Motherfucker, they don't have nothing to do with consent.
No, Rico.
And he fits. Okay, this is wild.
The birth of the child is a secondary act of him being raped.
Okay.
So the same way a rapist will sit there and rape a young woman, and she conceives, and she could be underage. She still is responsible for that child.
Okay, Rico.
And she didn't ask for it. She didn't give consent, but yet she still got impregnated. She's 15. An older man raped her. She didn't give consent. She conceived. She had the child. She is still financially responsible for that child, short of putting that child up for adoption or terminating the pregnancy.
Right.
Women do
the male don't got that option
the
though.
child of their great.
The male don't got that option though.
Exactly.
Listen to this, Rico. You are a veteran. Thank you for your service. You and Marcus. Okay, so you go. Let's say you go to the post. They're having a get together. You and your buddies having a get together. You go to the post. At the post, somebody slips something in your drink, right? They slip something in your drink, and some kind of way they say, "Hey, Rico, why don't you?" They get you to the back, and so you can lay down on a little cot that's something they got back there, right?
Yep.
All right. Well, a woman comes back there, and she's able to finagle some of your essence out of you while you there sleeping.
As Rorschach says, she sperm jacked me.
She sperm jacked you, brother. Sperm jacked you, right?
That's some funny shit. Go ahead.
All right, so she sperm jacked you, and then she has a baby. She gets pregnant and has a baby. You find out about it 2 or 3 years later. Now you in the rears like this dude, $15,000, right?
Okay. You can fight the arrears. You still can be found financially obligated for the child.
Under those circumstances, should you be responsible? Because you weren't in a position to give consent.
Morally, no, but legally you are.
How are you going to prove it, though? That's the thing.
Huh?
How would you prove that?
That's really impossible. You really couldn't X number of years later. So his only argument was, I was too young, but he can't prove that. She can say, oh, he wanted this pussy. And maybe he did. And he impregnated her. And if he impregnated her.
Well, just like you get in a car accident, if you don't have any doctor records, how they going to pay you?
Right.
So there's no charge. That lady's never been charged. So they can't just not make you responsible because she ain't been charged. It looked like you 16, but it looked like you wanted it because she's not in jail. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Where was the charge when it happened? The charge, the lack of consent only came up after your
him. He only has an issue. It sounds to me like he only got an issue when the bill came.
When that child support came, you looking for an out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you.
Well, that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
So if you wait that long, that's what it's going to look like with you too.
Very few states, if any, are going to let you get out of the support of your child.
Gav jail free card. Yeah, exactly. It's very similar to the case. I don't know if y'all knew. I think this was like 2 weeks ago, where like this woman was found like having sex with some of the students and stuff like that. Yeah, it was like a teacher, and yeah, it was the most wildest I've ever seen, man. And I'm like, yeah, they got her in jail, but that's because the kids were so young. Of course, they don't get all the boys. I'm like, nah, the boys get away clean, but it's because that's what she was predatoring them, going after which one she wanted. So,
all right, y'all, let's take a look at the Nick Olivas case real quick.
Case out of Arizona involving a man who was a victim of statutory rape when he was 14 years old. His name is Nick Olivas, and when he was 14, he had a sexual relationship with a 20-year-old. Now, it's important to keep in mind that according to Arizona state law, children younger than the age of 15 are not able to consent as an adult under any circumstance. So, as you know, this was a case of statutory rape, and the law did go after the 20-year-old woman who had a sexual affair with him. Now, regardless of the fact that he was a victim, it turns out that the state is now going after him for child support. Apparently, the woman who had sex with him when he was 14 got pregnant, and he didn't know about it until 6 years later. And then they contacted him and said, hey, you know what? You actually owe $15,000 in back child support payments. Now, to get...
So I think he can fight. I think he can fight the back charges. That he can probably fight, but he's still not going to get off of any future support.
He's not going to get off any future charges?
Future support.
Why not?
Because you can't. You can fight he can fight the issue because he is still the biological father of the child. No state lets you walk away under any circumstance from your financial obligation to children that you've sired. Period. Full stop. Unless the only way you get out of it if he willingly and the court agrees to terminate any paternity, any parental rights. He's got to give up parental rights. That's the only thing that gets you out of it. Other than that, he's got to pay. Now, again, I would fight the $15,000. Fuck that. Because I'd have been like, I would have been paying. I would fight. And I'm not even going to say he can get off of that. I can tell you, child support is a motherfucker. And I don't think, even him finding out now he's 20, he should want to be involved in the child's life. It's his child. And the state and the government just can't easily take it's difficult for them to take your paternal rights. It's not even easy for you. It's probably easier for you to give them up than it is for the state to take them. But you can't go, well, I'm not going to give up my paternity rights and I ain't taking care of the little motherfucker.
I don't think they care. They just want the money.
Of course they want the money. Of course they want. No, but I'm sitting there saying I'm not disputing the fact, yes, and that's what I keep telling everybody. The state don't want nobody's child to become what the word is called, the ward of the state. We can't have these little waifs. That's how it used to be. All these little homeless kids running around, and the state is like, okay, so if I'm in the state of Arizona, if he don't take care of his child, I got to help take care of it. It falls on the taxpayers.
Yeah.
So to take the burden off the taxpayer, they look for the biological father or absentee mother to pay what they're supposed to pay.
Okay, let's get back in. We're gonna get back into the video. I want Rorschach to come out and say what he got to say. I know you've been back there waiting. Sorry, but I didn't see you back there, Rorschach. All right, man. What's the deal, man?
No worries. My background is in both computer science and legal studies. Strictly speaking, Rico is correct. Once your child support is dependent on whether or not you've given consent in order to have the child conceived, and you see that in the cases of obviously like celebrities like Drake getting sperm jacked, and also like I'll use a euphemism. I don't want to disrespect your platform, but when they get jacked, like guys like Drake or like the friend of mine. But what happens in our like a legal system is we've reached a point where the laws aren't we know obviously they aren't being enforced fairly on gendered lines, but also the standard, for example, affirmative consent where the woman actually has to verbalize consent in an explicit and direct way. That standard isn't used across the board for a variety of other crimes. Other areas in the legal system. For example, in order to demonstrate that a threat has been made against somebody, you don't necessarily have to verbalize a threat in order to be guilty of threatening somebody. So when you have a more kind of a feminist leaning kind of a legal system, you end up with a lot of places in which the legal system is being, the laws are being unfairly enforced, and the rules for each of the crimes aren't actually coherent. For example, if you statutorily assault somebody, that's a strict liability. That's a strict liability crime, meaning that you don't actually have to demonstrate that. You can't actually get out of it by saying that, oh, I didn't know the person's actually age. When typically one of the foundational aspects of the law is you have to demonstrate a willing intent in order to actually do something. It's just in certain areas, like you have strict liability. And in the case of this man who was assaulted as a child and had to pay child support, strictly speaking, RICO is right, but what's not being communicated is the law should actually be changed in order to reflect the injustice in this area in the same way that laws are reviewed in order to benefit women along certain lines. That if as it refers to
you kind of low, man.
Carrying the baby to term and assault.
Rorschach.
Can you hear me better?
Kind of low, man. People can't hear you, man. Rorschach, you there?
Better now?
You there? All right, y'all. While we waiting on Rorschach to get his thing together, let's finish up this little video here.
Give you a sense of how he was feeling after he was contacted by this. It was a shock. I was living my life and enjoying being young. To find out you have a 6-year-old, it's unexplainable. It freaked me out. And as I mentioned, the court determined that he owed back child support and medical bills plus 10% interest. So right now, the state is trying to collect the money by garnishing his wages. In fact, the state seized money from his bank account and now garnishes about $380 from his wages each month.
All right, so now let's break this down. Now, all of us did not press charges at the time, okay? But that's partly because he was 14 and didn't know what the hell was going on, right? This kid pops out 6 years later. They say not only do you have to pay money going forward, which, by the way, he says, now that I know it's my kid, I want to have a relationship with the kid, and I do want to pay going forward. He couldn't be a more decent guy, okay? He says, but really, for the 6 years, I had no idea the kid even existed. After I was, went through statutory rape, I have to pay back support for those years. I mean, the kid already exists. They already lived that 6 years. It's not like oh my God, if you don't give the money, she's going to starve tomorrow, right? No, it's just to give money back to his rapist.
Yep.
Okay. It's unbelievable. And you got to pay interest on top of that, and it's not negotiable. We're taking out of your salary every month.
But that's the part I said, Clarence. I was like, he can fight the going backwards, but he can't fight going forward, and the guy knows that, and he says he wants to be in the child's life, and he has no problem with that. Okay. One thing I did want to say, Osmosis, I think you were a little bit confused. I'm not arguing for a woman raping a minor. I said the raping is a separate issue from the child support going forward. If she raped him, I don't know why the fuck she ain't went to jail. If the statute of limitations hasn't run its course, that's what it should be pressing charges on her ass against. But they said that it was brought up at that point. So evidently she had a hell of a good lawyer because he was 14 and she was charged. So I'm totally in favor of if a woman rapes a young man, she need to do time. Full stop. That's it. I don't want to hear it. But if that child impregnates her, the baby that comes into this world still has to be supported by the biological parents. That's all I'm saying. Yes, and that was all I was saying. And I think that's exactly what they spoke to here was that. Now, I don't think absolutely he should not be responsible for that $15,000.
Yeah, but I don't think so either.
Going forward, you just can't say fuck the kid. The kid's 6.
But Clarence,
Well, Rico, to touch up. Oh no, I was gonna say touch up on that. I was gonna say, Rico, I think when he becomes of working age, he should be able to pay for the kid. That's what I
he's
think.
20.
He can't do it when he's 14.
No,
Was
but
what?
he's 20 now.
He's 20 now?
Yeah, in the video they said he's 20 years old.
The expiration. Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Actually,
He
he's
should have been
24.
paid. I would say by the time he's 18 or whatever, like he should have started paying that shit. So I agree with you. Like it shouldn't be like 14 because they don't know enough yet.
But they kept
So,
it from him, Jay.
I think that's fair. So I do agree with you.
Right.
They kept it from him.
Go ahead, brother Clarence.
They kept the baby from him. He had no knowledge of it until he gets these papers saying he owed $50,000.
Oh shit! So he didn't know?
No, he didn't know.
Okay, all right.
Papers in the mail saying he owed $15,000.
Y'all gonna hate me. I don't think this guy's liable.
Sorry,
shit, that's wild.
That's what I'm thinking. That's
But
what I'm
see,
thinking.
the reason why I say
He's
this
not,
is,
man. He's a kid. He's
but
14.
listen,
Let's
this
hold this
happened-
woman accountable one time. I know
But
we
here's the
hold
thing.
men accountable. Let's hold this
how's my
woman
sound?
accountable.
better. But they hold, they do that for guys who are like in their 30s and find out 5 years later, the woman will finally come out and say, I got a kid, got to pay child support. The courts make them start paying child support. And oftentimes they'll pay that shit retroactive to the birth of the child.
I want to address something that the Rico.
Yeah, that happens a lot. Go ahead.
Rico said is strictly speaking, the operative term strictly speaking is Rico is correct. The laws as they stand now, obviously the assault versus your liability as a paternal father of the child are two separate matters altogether. But like that's simple enough. I think everybody agrees on that. But the issue is the way laws like this are supposed to be enforced, and the way in which they typically enforce these laws for women is in certain cases when enforcing the laws strictly would be so egregious as to actually re-victimize the person who's been victimized. In this case, it's the boy who was assaulted as a minor. Then they don't enforce it. Likewise, the reason why this woman is actually out and about is because the legal system obviously didn't punish her, and she actually shouldn't even have custody of the child because she's already been demonstrated to be obviously like a child rapist, right?
She
so the
should
fact
be
that
she should be a registered sex offender, I would hope.
Exactly. So a lot of the time when we speak about these cases,
charges,
like
Rico.
we seem to be stuck on like obviously the parts of the case that are like it's simple enough to just understand that like there's a liability as the laws are now. But when it comes to enforcing these laws, like they're not enforcing, they're selectively enforcing them, and they're coming up with new loopholes, and then afterwards we end up getting tripped up because many black men, obviously we haven't been taught to be like very deep thinkers. We end up debating the aspects of of the law that don't really make any sense. Obviously, like paternal liability is a separate matter altogether, but also obviously the woman shouldn't be able to retain custody given the fact that she should be a registered offender and she shouldn't have been out for like obviously 20 years if she was doing all this stuff with this boy and conceived a child. Like for sure she should have been like in jail for at least 10-15 years maximum. So it's even funny like that we're even debating the idea that like the paternal the legalese of obviously a paternity and that making you liable when it's obvious that the law hasn't been enforced because this woman is still walking around and retaining custody of a child, and she's obviously an offender that shouldn't be anywhere near any child. But likely she's going to schools. She's going to school. She's going to mommy, like a child daycare, I would assume. But she's an offender. So obviously, like the law isn't being enforced, which is the base issue. It's only like So yeah, that's it.
Let me ask you a question, Clarence. You said something. She wasn't charged.
No.
So my question is this then, but see that, and that makes it even more fucked up because I'm like, one, the state was supposed to take that case forward just based on the age. It's statutory rape. The boy's 14 years old.
What's going on, fellas?
And even worse than that, where the fuck was his parents, the 14-year-old? Because you're not gonna sleep with my 14-year-old son, and I'm not gonna make the local jurisdiction press charges. So
Brother
I think
Clarence,
he was even failed by his own parents.
Fill me in. What's going on?
All right, let me give you the short version, Truth. We're talking about this guy, Nick Ovelas, Nick Ovilas, and he was 14 years old when this lady that was 20 years old had sex with him. He was under the age of consent in Arizona, but she got pregnant, and he didn't find out about it until he got papers when he was 24 years old that she had this baby, or 20 years old or something like that, because the baby was 6 when he finally found out about it. So anyway, and he's been fighting this case for years, and so he finally lost. He has to pay the child support, but he had to pay back child support $15,000 to the lady that actually raped him, you know, the statutory rape, right? Because he was under the age of consent. So what I was trying to say is, because he was under the age of being able to give consent, why then should he be therefore financially responsible for this child against his will? I mean, if he wants to, that's fine, but against his will, why should he be responsible for it, right?
So was the woman put in jail when he was 14 years old?
I was just telling Rico, she wasn't charged. She was never charged.
So she was never charged when
that's what I'm struggling
the act happened.
Right.
Okay, so she's out, right?
She ain't never been locked up.
Okay, so 6 years after that, she's letting it be known that, hey, you have a child.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to.
And I want money for it.
Yes.
Right.
After I statutory raped you.
Yeah.
Right.
What the
Imagine if you was a woman had to pay your rent.
This is what I'm talking about. See, this right here. This don't even surprise me because the way the world is. But I'm saying, God damn.
But if you go
the way
to
of the world,
but if you
the
go
way of the world,
why was this woman never charged? I'm trying to figure out. I'm going to look at the boy's parents. And why did they not? Can you imagine your 14-year-old daughter?
Crazy, man.
And you just gonna let them go and not charge the person who did it?
If you don't know this world hate men by now,
what I'm saying is, where was his mother and father, the boy Nick? Where was his parents?
That's a great question.
Sit there and make them press charges against this woman.
That's a great question. That don't
count. But you're not gonna do it to my 14-year-old son.
The parents, for some reason, never are held liable for the children's problematic tendencies, which I think they should.
Oh, no,
why didn't the 14-year-old boy parents? I'm trying to figure out. Somebody explain to me how that happens to your 14-year-old son, and the woman forget the fact that she got pregnant.
Oh,
if my 14-year-old son is having sex with a 20-year-old, I'm gonna make sure that bitch going to jail.
So she want back child support too, don't she?
Yes, but my point is, she's going to
want 15 grand, true. She want 15,000.
But why are we stuck on the back child support, not stuck on the fact that this woman committed a crime? She's not a registered sex offender. She did no time.
Right. So in order for
she should have went to jail.
So I'm gonna tell you straight up. In order for her to get that money, she would have to do some time.
But it's too late now. They let it go.
No, what I'm saying is, okay, so since they never went to court,
the kid is 6.
No, listen what I'm saying, Rico. Since they never went to court for it, she can still be tried for it. They have tried guys.
I don't know what the statute of limitations is, but yeah.
No, they have tried guys for longer.
Yeah, that's what I was. I did ask that question. I'm like,
I can actually hold up. Let me find something for you.
He need to bring up charges on her ass.
Yeah, that's what he need to do. Straight up, that's what I would do.
That 15,000. But see, now the state, here's one thing that may not get him out of that back money. Is he paying the money back to her, or is he paying the money back to the state because say she was getting welfare?
Now that's it. All right, so now that's a different story.
She was getting welfare. The state's still gonna come after him for that.
Right, they're gonna exactly. Yeah. So they're gonna get their money back regardless. It's just if it was like that, I would put her ass in jail.
But she
and they charge them 10% interest.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's automatic. And another 15 for insurance. That's automatic.
Yeah, okay. You gonna pay.
That's automatic.
But the bottom line is, her ass need to be in jail. She
need to go to jail
8 years ago, and I don't think it is like True said. I don't think it's too late to have her ass locked up now. But if nobody's got the balls enough to do it, then it's like, why are we throwing a pity party if he ain't gonna press charges?
Because they're thinking about the child, Rico. They're thinking about the child.
I'm talking about the dude. I'm talking about
They
the
not.
man.
No. Listen, see, we got to stop doing that. They not thinking about the child. Right. I'm trying to tell you, because if it was reversed,
that's right.
If it was reversed, we would be talking about something totally different.
Yeah.
It would not even be about the child. It would be about putting that boy in jail.
Yeah.
Straight up, no matter how long it was.
Yeah,
they would put that guy, if it was a dude, they would put his tail in jail, just off of the fact that baby is evidence.
Yeah, and I don't even see
the sexual situation transpired.
Yep, that's all the evidence right there. Need. Yeah,
that's all the evidence you need.
I don't see how the fuck the state doesn't go forward with that case with or without his assistant, but. I mean, it's just too many. It's just too much shit as to why that woman needs to be in jail. At a bare minimum, okay. The nicest I would be, I would say, crazy, make her ass plead guilty, make her plead guilty, give her probation, and make her register as a sex offender. At a bare minimum. You don't want to go to jail. You gonna register. You gonna get your ass on that registry. And I'm gonna give me more leverage to get my child.
Yeah, I get. If he wanted, he could do it.
Right, there's too much shit out here. So from the legal standpoint, it's just great.
That's why his parents need to be involved, because his parents would be able to coach him through this mess.
But his parents should have been there when he was fucking 14 when it first came out.
No. I 100% agree with you. 100, and I have no pushback.
I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with his parents?
They are absolutely wrong for that.
That's crazy. Yeah, they're gonna come after him for. I know that they'll come after him for the back. And if anything,
this is crazy.
If the state's being that aggressive about the back pay, I guarantee you she was getting state money.
Oh yeah.
They want to get reimbursed.
If they kick out any amount of money, they coming hard for that. They coming hard for that.
Food stamps, whatever we had to give her.
Yeah, food stamps, anything, insurance, for
housing vouchers. We want our money back.
All that. They want all that. They're gonna take all that.
That's your baby.
It's crazy. So he wasn't old enough to consent to sex, but apparently he was old enough to father a child and pay for the child.
Yeah.
I mean, if he's a victim of rape, then how are you going to go after him and say, hey, we know you were raped when you were 14, but the girl got pregnant, so now you got to give her money for child support.
Okay.
Right. By the way, this isn't the only case.
So two things.
Say what y'all say?
No, I said she's exactly right. That's my point. Like, what are we doing?
But going forward, that someone has to be financially responsible for the 6-year-old child, and he's the biological father. I wouldn't hold him responsible for anything in the past, but I would tell him, look, you have to help support this child.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. Rico. So let's look at it like this. Let's flip it from the other side. If I was him, it depends. No. All right. So if I was him, I would do the same thing he's about to do. But if I was in a situation where it was another individual, I would tell him, hey, really think about this. You know what I'm saying? If it's a way around that you do not want this responsibility because you had no idea, and it's been plenty of times women have gave up their children.
Yeah, you got to terminate his parental rights.
Yeah, advocated responsibility to somebody else, all types of stuff. So that should be liable, and he should be able to do the same. He should at least have that option. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's what I said. He would have to give up rights to the child.
But the
you can't
glaring
say I want the rights and I'm not going to support it.
Right.
But the glaring issue in this situation is we're talking about what the law says, and what the law says is you don't. The fact that she's even out and about in the time frame that she's at already shows that the law isn't at play. The fact that he's now litigating in family court with an accused rapist
yeah.
already speaks to the fact that the law isn't being enforced. So at this point, when we fixate on obviously the paternal liability, to Rico's point, is what's called a strict liability issue, meaning if you're the father, then you do have to pay. But the fact that there are other laws as well too that should have been obviously open shut, especially when like she did what she did, already shows that it's you really don't want to debate the strict liability of being a father. If you want to win the debate, you have to debate on the side of whether or not the woman could even retain custody of the child, given the fact that she's already assaulted a minor. If you're a man and you do something to a young girl, then there's no way you're going to be able to make a case in any family court for the custody of a young girl. That doesn't make any sense.
Yep, I agree. Rorschach, 100%. Press charges on that.
That's the whole point. That's the whole point. If the roles were reversed, we wouldn't even be talking about this.
Nope.
It wouldn't even be a question. This stuff is this is funny though. This is just hilarious.
Yeah, but the liability for the child, you're not avoiding that responsibility.
Okay,
Yeah.
so let me ask, since I got Truth and Rorschach here, let me ask these two guys, what does consent look like? What does consent look like?
Wait, Clarence on that consent.
No, because I want these young guys to know what what to look for, what signals to look for, what things to look for when they're out here with these women, man.
Consent. Consent is when something is allowed, unless the presence of no is there. And if a woman does not want, even if she don't say no, she's not with it. So never go beyond that line, huh?
How, Truth? How do you know?
Like they give little hints. It's been times they say, I want to do it, then hold up, I'm not ready to do this or whatever. Soon as they, this is the way I did it. I usually allow them to do whatever. You see what I'm saying? So when we got to a certain level, I allowed them to go, so that way consent was already given because they was the ones being the aggressor. You feel what I'm saying? Okay. I never really had to push the issue for sexual situations to commence. It just didn't happen that way. So consent is just consent. If somebody's going for it, but if we're talking about age, we already know what they say. 25 is when the brain is developed or something like that.
Yeah.
All right. So we're talking about a minor, and this is something that I was telling people about when, I openly admitted that I was having sex with one of my teachers, and when
of your high school teachers.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. And it wasn't just me. It was a couple of us. We was having sex with my computer teacher. So
wasn't nothing special about you.
Huh?
Wasn't nothing special about you. You just got to turn like everybody else.
Yeah.
I know. I've been there.
Basically. But I knew what I was doing. But we talking about her being of age at the time. I wasn't thinking of that this is actually wrong. And these are conversations I had with my son. You see what I'm saying? To explain to him, even though that you're saying yes, a person of a certain age is supposed to know and is supposed to basically be aware to protect you even from yourself. You're trying to do things out of trying to experience them. You feel what I'm saying? And a lot of times through experiences when we learn, but sometimes you shouldn't even go through that experience. And that's something that I had a conversation with my son. Even though you're giving consent for someone to do certain things with you, is still wrong. That's pretty much it.
Okay. I was pretty much talking about on the dating scene, since you guys are, not the married guys up here, so I was trying to see.
Let's get your spin on it.
Yeah,
My spin on it is consent comes on a spectrum. It ranges from somebody asking for something to somebody explicitly saying that they explicitly consenting to whatever it is and being specific. Somebody could consent to the general act, so that's very general. Consent could be implicit in the sense that the person demonstrates a pattern of behavior that any sensible person would conclude would arrive at a particular location. Consent could be subtle, like a flirtatious kind of flirtatious kind of actions. So consent can be a multitude of things. Like if you're out there playing the field, then you like it's consent isn't going to be very obvious or like open. A lot of the time, consent is going to be like it's kind of a game, right? So you kind of have to walk your way from point A to point B, and you assess things as they go, and then you arrive where you arrive, right? But a lot of the time, people don't actually explicitly say where it is that they're like an interaction is going to end up.
So what if they also don't say an explicit no?
If they don't say an explicit no, a lot of the time, if you're, they didn't say an explicit yes, they didn't say an explicit no, but any sensible person would be able to conclude that they wanted something. So it depends on what it is that they've done. Is if a woman's in a like brings like protection, if a woman has text messages already expressing intent to do things with you, that could also be it. So consent, if we're talking from a legal sense. As a third party is a lot of the time very hard to actually deliberate on unless you were actually there. So consent could be it could be a multitude of things. Like just as threatening somebody, you don't actually have to say I'm going to do XYZ to someone. You could threaten somebody just by intimidating them, by giving them a certain look. It comes on a spectrum, like most things. It's very nuanced.
Okay.
All right, brothers. All right. Y'all, my wife keeps blowing me up, so I'm gonna have to cut this one short. So let's get some final thoughts in here, fellas. Let's go around the room. And on any topic that we talked about, or anything you want to bring up that's related or whatever. Whoever wants to go first.
Well, I ain't get a chance to hear about the other topics, but I'll just tell you, this last one, this was actually
the other one. Oh, truth. The other one was about. I don't know if you're aware of the guy, Kalon Walker.
Oh man, woo.
Watch the replay. That'll be pretty interesting. I didn't know about it till Clarence put me on game.
Let me give you guys.
I'm gonna check out the. I'm gonna just check out the replay because you gotta go, brother Clarence.
No. I'm gonna give it to you, and then no. I'm not gonna let it run into 5 hours. That's all I'm doing. I'm just cutting out True. Let me give you the short version. This guy, Kalon Walker, man, he had movie deals. Well, he had just did the movie Superfly, the remake on that movie. He was in that movie. He was also in a movie with Halle Berry on Netflix. I forgot the name of it, but on Netflix. Then he had a ghostwriting deal with either TDE or one of these other rap companies. He had his own record contract for his own album, his own record, and then he had the acting, of course, right? And then he was his name was getting out there, and young dude, 19, 20 years old, right? So anyway, so what he wanted to do is get down with all of these different women, these IG models. So what he used to do, truth is, he would troll IG. And he would try to invite these IG models out and say, hey, I'm in the business. If you let me take some photos of you and package you right, I can take it to the proper people and I can get you on. That was his spiel, right? In the course of doing that, he would tell them, hey, look, I would like to have sex with you. Now, most of them would deny that. And so when they denied it, he would grape them. And he thought because the person wasn't fighting him back that they was okay with it. And he don't realize that unless somebody give you their consent, they, you're graping them. So anyway, he got convicted of, I think he charged with 10 grapes, convicted of 6. He's looking at 100 years in prison. And He's denying the whole thing, man. He's denying everything. He's saying that he's innocent and everything. But the point is, he put himself in a situation. He didn't get the consent, and he's going out there on social media trying to he was before he got convicted, trying to sway the public opinion. Anyway, that was the first story. The guy had everything, man. He had music, he had money, he had millions of dollars looking at him in a very short period of time, and he just threw it all away for these chicks, chasing these chicks around. So that was the first story. Second story was about the lady that she was supposed to be executed in Texas for killing her daughter, but they gave her a stay of execution because they found evidence that the prosecution was hiding or suppressing. So they reintroduced that evidence. And then, of course, the last thing we was talking about was the guy that was 14, got impregnated this lady 20 years old, and then was asked to pay child support, $15,000. So that's where we at, man.
Well, as far as the execution, I don't advocate for that. So I really don't have a problem with that. As far as the guy or the actor or whatever, this is what I'm talking about, man. Guys do some of the goofiest stuff that I've seen in my life. I never had, I don't, like I said, I don't understand it because I never had to go those type of lengths to like try to create a narrative or a story just to get in a woman's pants. And then to go that far to try to extend to the point where, that's what I'm saying. When a woman wants something, and if they're just laying there, if they're just laying there, they don't want it, bro.
They don't want it. Exactly.
Right.
It ain't that hard.
Yeah. If they're just because they're not saying enough, that's what I'm saying. You know, man.
Some of these dudes don't know truth.
They do know.
No. Hey, brother Clarence, let me explain something to you. You just saying the point of we took that no means no to a different level, and what it did was created a loophole for guys to try to go past that. Now I'm not saying guys is not out here getting lied on, but it's a lot of them just saying they found a loophole. So if I'm not hearing no, that means continue, and no, that's not what it means.
Exactly.
Right.
That's not what it means, bro.
Right.
And when you're around enough women to know these type of things, and this is what I mean. Like when you're around enough women, you know their behavior, you know how they move, all types of things. So if they just sitting there, obviously they don't want to tell you no, they're scared or whatever. So you back off. Like you ask them, you good? If you sitting there like that, no, I don't want none of that. Who wants a mannequin? Who wants a mannequin? That's something's wrong with you up in your head. If you just want a woman just to sit there like that, there's something wrong. So no, old boy got what he if he did what he did, then he deserved. He got what he deserved. You feel what I'm saying? And then putting yourself in that type of situation, it opens you up. Even if he's saying like, look, I didn't do what they're saying. Look what you did. You put yourself in a situation where you're making millions. The things you was doing, you didn't have to do that.
Right.
I've never made millions. You see what I'm saying? I never made millions. And that's what I'm saying. I don't understand that. I really don't. So I tell you, you have and you get what you deserve. And as far as the woman who's out and about to collect a check after she raped a young kid.
Yeah.
It just shows you how the world is, bro. It just shows
you. It would never happen if it was a man, right?
Right. That's my closing thoughts, man.
All right. Hey,
all right, brother.
Up true. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, man.
Take it easy. All right, don't see you later, man.
All right, Rorschach, what you got to say, man?
Yeah, based on the facts of that sorry, I forgot what the name of that guy's what was the name of that guy who created the fake stories to get the women?
He did what?
He created the fake stories to get the women.
Kalani Walker. The actor,
oh,
Kalani Walker.
Kalani Walker.
Kalani Walker.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I would have prosecuted him. I would have if I were on the jury. I'm not sure if I would have prosecuted him without hearing the full context of the situation. I do think.
Oh no, they were in the LAPD detective's office almost every day, man. They were pushing the issue.
Yeah, I'd have to hear the exact the exact I'd have to look into the exact forensic evidence or the victim accounts and obviously his testimony in order to prosecute him.
Let me give you a quick one. So there's a girl that he did this to. He brought her over to his house, and she got uncomfortable. He started talking about sex. You know, she was cool with the photography and everything. He started talking about the sex. She got uncomfortable. He realized that, and he said, "Hey, why don't I just take you home?" So she goes, "Okay, cool, yeah, that'll work." So they walk down to go get in his car in the parking structure. She gets in the back seat because she's so nervous. She don't even want to get in the front seat with him. She gets in the back seat. He gets in the driver's side. He crawls over the seat and comes back in the back with her, and then proceeds to grape her. So she said, okay, Rico. She said, I'm gonna make it short. So anyway, here's the point, because this is why I'm always bringing up the consent, because she did not resist him. He jumped on her. He did not resist her. I mean, she did not resist him. So in his mind, he thought it was consent. She said, I was just froze. I was shocked. I was so frozen. I was so frozen in fear. I just didn't move. Now, that's one issue.
And she called the police?
Did she call the police? Yeah, they went to the police.
Immediately?
I'm sure within like a couple of days, yeah.
I'll skip over that case, but my perspective on the whole consent topic is, obviously like most things, like things come on a spectrum when you're deliberating on whether or not a crime is being committed. Most of the time, the facts of the matter aren't going to be as clean cut as somebody obviously giving consent to somebody else to do something, somebody colluding with another person, or things like this. A lot of the time, like
22
real crimes.
cases. 22 people had that never met each other had the same story.
For myself, it definitely is suspicious that 22 people came forward with a story, but I would have to 22 people cases also means the probability of actually having evidence, like concrete evidence, is strengthened. So I never really hang on the amount of accusers. I more look at, well, if there are that many accusers, then that increases the probability of the empirical evidence.
22 Asian women come in here and say Rorschach has a humongous penis. We're gonna throw that all away. We're gonna discount that. Okay? We're gonna discount that information. If you're gonna throw that away, we're gonna throw that away. All right? All right, I'm just messing with you, man. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Just messing with you.
You got me. my mouth was saying. But whenever I hear about X amount of people came to what's it accused party of Y, I just think that, well, if there are that many people, right, then the likelihood of having some concrete evidence is also increased. So if we're going to use the number of people in order to make something appear more plausible, right? Then part of that high number of accusers should mean that there should be a higher likelihood of evidence. So if you have 90 people but there's no evidence, right, then obviously then there's an issue with producing evidence.
I'll give you that, Rorschach. That makes sense.
Yep. And I'll cut my final thoughts here. But if you look at the fact that woman was able to, after assaulting a child, go out and actually attempt to collect child support when she shouldn't have custody of a child, when likely she I bet you she's also working as well too. and providing the other half of of the money for the child, even though she's a registered offender. The fact that she's even out of jail, like I'm not going to be like it's not that I'm callous towards these cases. It's just well, if we're going to enforce the law, right, then we have to enforce the law across the board. You can't have somebody like a walking free and having a damn child in their custody when they're obviously a child rapist, right? And then browbeat me about strict liability because we've established paternity of the child. That's not logically coherent, right? So when I look at these cases, I try to drill down on like every facet of it. I'm not going to just throw my hands up and just allow the women to win and then the men to just lose, right? I try to well, if we're going to play this game, right, then I'm going to take everything to its logical conclusion.
That's the best way to do it too, man. That's why I like you, man. You won't. I try to hit them over the net to you, man. I try to give you a Venus, a Serena, and you keep giving it back over the net. So I like that about you.
Last thing I'll say, thanks for allowing me to get on the platform, and obviously I had that thing with Truth last time, but there's no hate with Truth. We just I don't know, the topics are interesting, and I like being on the platform with him. There's that other gentleman with the dreads, like Rico, yourself. You're all good people, and I enjoy being on the platform with you.
You just like being difficult, Rorschach, but we love you anyway, brother.
Yeah, it's all love. It's all love.
Salute, brothers.
All right,
thank you, brother.
Rorschach. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you, brother. All right, Doc. You up next, man. Doc, you in the house? I think Doc, you might have stepped out, man. He might be watching something else. Okay. All right, brother Rico.
Well, I mean, all I got to say is great conversation, like always. Topics on point, good to be discussed. These are some conversations that are good to know and to talk about. I think I've said everything I needed to say on each of the topics. But it was good. And I'll be honest with you, I was really glad to see shout out to brother Osmosis for coming up and giving us some information, especially on it's difficult when you see somebody who's went through it firsthand.
Yeah.
And I'm absolutely positively glad that things worked out as well for him as it did, because could have turned out, worse.
Tragic like Keelan Walker. Yeah.
Yeah. So actually, I'm glad and I'm glad that, he came out here and said some things to hopefully he dropped some gems, some information that some of these young cats can he's of the younger generation that they'll understand. And they ain't too keen to taking information from no old dinosaurs like me and you. But if someone in their age, them old Negroes don't know what they talking about. Okay, well, I'm gonna let this young man explain to how he's a perfectly innocent guy. But if you're not careful about how you move, you can get yourself caught up into some stuff that being perfectly innocent, and like you said, how he wanted to even be a good guy to go down there and clear his name. When you fucking with these law enforcement and you look of a certain melanation, the best way to clear yourself is to keep your fucking mouth shut.
Yep.
And I'm glad he learned that lesson without it costing him.
Yeah.
Because too many young brothers have went down there and
for
the very same reason, wanted to go make sure that their name was clear and didn't get to come home.
Talk their way right into some bars.
Yeah, it's not right, it's not fair, but the system ain't built for us. It wasn't made for us. It was made for them.
Agreed.
Other than that, like I said, great topic, great stream.
You can mitigate a lot of things by knowing your rights and acting accordingly. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but the best thing to do and they put it in the Miranda, the right to remain silent.
Yep. Best right you got. He kept the mob out of jail for 50 years. Yep.
Yeah. And
Remain silent.
when you see politicians exercising and leaning into that, every day they get caught up. No comment. No comment. No comment. No comment. No comment.
I would like to exercise my Fifth Amendment right.
I don't know why in the hell that's such a hard thing for us to learn.
Well, Rico, we just think that we can talk our way out of everything.
I'm smarter than everybody.
Right. We just think we can talk our way out of everything. Okay. This is what I'm gonna do.
Into something.
I remember I was watching the show one time and I was just like, God, man, how can you be so stupid? They was catching these people with warrants, man.
Mm-hmm.
And so what they did is they said, hey, you want a TV, you want a big screen TV.
Oh yeah, and they show up.
They got like 156 of them down there.
They got them with, like in our area one year, they got them with fake Redskin tickets. You know, they promised you tickets to the game. Man, you should have seen them niggas strutting in that room thinking they getting them free tickets. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get my free ticket. Dude, yeah, they do that. That's a big thing. You want some free tickets to the Lakers or some shit like that. And you be like, damn, I won. I don't even remember signing up. And that's how stupid motherfuckers be. They think they won a prize that they know they didn't even sign up for.
Exactly. You didn't even sign up for nothing.
But they go strutting in there, looking good too. Like, we've been looking for your ass. Click, click, click.
Click, click.
Yeah. So, so that's the one thing I always thought was our folks' problem is that we've always been too gregarious and extra and extravagant about ourselves. We would be better off as a people if we learned to be a little bit more quieter and I do see other communities, but I think that's cultural for us. Culturally, we like to be gregarious and outgoing and things like that, but it doesn't always serve us well.
No.
Sometimes we're better served like, just fucking be quiet. Like you may see the Asian American community and they're quiet and they don't make any noise and fuck, but they get a lot more shit done because people aren't paying any attention to them. Because you don't never hear no noise from that.
Right.
We kind of kill ourselves because we always got to make a grand entrance. Right. We got to make a grand entrance in. We got to make a grand exit. It's like, well, you motherfuckers be quiet sometimes. So, I've been that way too, but I know that it sometimes tend to be, we're loud in what we say. We're loud in the way we dress. We're loud in the cars we have. We are just loud.
Rico, we just have such low self-esteem. We feel like we got to do that to impress each other, man. And
but it hurts us though. Yeah, it's unfortunate.
It does. It's really bad.
Yeah.
And then most of us don't understand our rights. Like you can read up, you can go on Google and search up your Miranda rights and see what your rights are. Mm-hmm. But what do? They'll tell you, hey Rico, come on in. Hey, we just want to clear something up. You're not a suspect. We're just going to clear something up. And you're not a suspect until you say something that makes you a suspect, right?
Yep. And because all they're going to do, and how does that happen? Because you sit there and you talk long enough.
That's what I'm saying.
It'd be like, what? I seen motherfuckers go in on one issue and get charged for something else.
Right.
Because they was talking too fucking much.
Right.
I seen where they knew called you in for.
They knew they was gonna charge. They knew they was gonna get out of them for that situation, but they started out over here.
And then even if you don't get charged with something, you stay there long enough, you done told on a motherfucker.
Yeah, man.
That happens a lot. The flip and information. I tell them, you just, we asking you about your boyfriend, okay. No, but he didn't. That was Maine in them. Wait a minute. What the fuck? They had no idea about that other people. But now because you've been talking so much.
Right.
keep your ass out of there unless they bring you in there on charges. And even then, shut up and ask for a lawyer.
Right.
Because they ain't there for you. I ain't never seen a cop be there. They'll tell, I'm just here to help you. No, they're not. No, they ain't. Well, first thing, look,
I know, man. I know. But they just doing their job, Rico. They just doing their job.
I'm on your side, Clarence. I'm here for you. I just want to get this straight so you can go home.
Right.
He don't give a
rat's you up here for the next 8 hours.
And that's
but
the
I'm
problem.
just trying to get this straight so we can go home.
Look,
what you want? You want a hamburger? You want?
Yeah, we're going to end this stream before your wife be interrogating my ass. Okay, the boss done called. I ain't trying to be underneath the hot lights with the missus.
No, man, you better not say I was on the stream with Click. No, you ain't gonna say that, brother. All right, thank you, brother Rico. I appreciate you, man. I know you're busy. I see you all over the internet, man. So I appreciate you still stopping by here, brother. Appreciate you, man. Thursday, yeah. I'll let you know. You know I'll hit you, Rico. All right, brother. Appreciate you, man. All right, that was brother Rico. Our vet and strong performance. Well, okay, let's see who we had, because I got to get out of here too, because Rico's right. I'm gonna get in trouble myself. My wife's been blowing me up. All right, so who came in? Okay, well, let's talk about Rico. Rico came in, always a strong performance, always hits one over the wall. Dr. Hood came in, got one up to third base. You know what I mean? He got on base. Good performance. Jay Takashi came in. He got one up in the air. Who else? Osmosis came in. Hit one out the park. Came in, dropped a little story time on us. Hit one out the park. Shout out to Osmosis. Who else came in? Truth is Never Favorite came in. Dipped his toe in for a minute. Always a strong performance. Rorschach came in. Strong performance. He said, hey, man, ain't nothing going on between me and Truth. It's all good. They squashed it like men. It's all over. Who else came in? I think that's everybody. That came in today. I think I only had 5 people came in. Anyway, what y'all think? Did we cover it? Or do we need to go? I want to see. I'm trying to find some sentencing information on Kelan Walker. That is a really sad situation, man. And we might just touch on that. Maybe we might just touch on that. Maybe Marcus came in. Thank you, Rico. Marcus came in. Shout out to Marcus. Marcus dipped his toe in. Always a strong performance. I got to get that young man. I got to sit down with that young man. When I get some time. I want to do this Kelan Williams. I want to find out the sentencing on this young man, because that was a bad situation that happened to him. Holy smokes. Terrible situation, man. Man literally had the world in his hands and threw it all away over running behind some woman, running behind these skirts out here. And there's a way you can do it. The sister Rita said, tell them, Rico, all they can tell me is what I'm facing. Yeah, that's all. I'm gonna tell y'all, man, whenever the police pull you over or talk to you or come to your house, there's only 2 questions you ask them. Am I under arrest? If so, what are the charges? 3 questions. Am I under arrest? If so, what are the charges? You ask them, are you under arrest? No, we're just detaining you. Okay. What are the charges? Well, we're trying to figure that out. We're doing an investigation right now. Okay. Am I free to leave? Not just yet. Okay. And what am I being held for? Just make sure everything's legit, right? But usually if you ask them, what am I under arrest? They say, no, not at this time. Okay. Then if you ain't under arrest, there ain't no charges. Then am I free to go? That's all you need to know. Don't say anything else. Just ask those 2 questions. Ask those 3 questions so you can go. If they want to give it at you, hey, they give you their card and say, here, call me. You don't call them. You let your lawyer call them. whenever they like you see on the movies, they leave their card in your door, right? Homicide investigators, right? You don't call them. You have your lawyer call them. Get a lawyer and have your lawyer call them. Don't you call them. Because they're going to say, hey, you know what? Risa, come on down. We just want to talk to you about, we just want to clear something up real quick. There's a little something that we just trying to clear this up. And you can help us. I can? Yeah, you can help us. Come on down. Next thing you know, they got you down there for 6-7 hours. They haven't let you eat. They haven't let you call nobody. They haven't let you talk to nobody. They got you in that room and they make you sit there. Can I leave now? Well, we're trying to finish this. If you can stay and help us out. Half the time they have people down there, you ain't even under arrest. You ain't got to stay there. You ain't got to go in that room and sit that room for 8 hours. You're not. If you're not under arrest, they can't keep you. But most people don't know, so they think, oh, I have to do what they're telling me to do. You don't have to do what they tell you to do. The only time they can keep you is if you are under arrest. If you're under arrest, then they can keep you. They have what their power of arrest means. They can now take possession of you as a person and lock you in, take custody of you and your property that you have on you. That's what being under arrest is. They can take custody of you and take custody of your property that you have on you. But if you're not under arrest, they can't make you sit in that room. Oh, we got some more questions we want to ask you. See, they usually tell you, or they make you sign a bunch of papers, and they say, and in those papers it says you are not under arrest. You don't have to stay here. But they don't show you that part. They just make you initial. It's just initial here. See all these ways, you initial right there. Then you initial is saying you knew that you wasn't under arrest, and you knew you didn't have to talk to them. But they don't explain it a lot of times. Some of them do. Not all cops are like that, but some of them, a lot of them don't. So whenever you go and talk to them, if you ever in a situation where you are talking to them, remain silent. Remain silent. I think I made my point on that, right? All right, be careful out there. Be careful out there, you guys especially. You women especially too. You women too. You know what I'm saying? You guys out here and you rocking with a dude and you think everything is cool, and then some of these dudes get hot and bothered, man. They don't have a reverse button. They don't have a reverse gear. You know what I mean? They don't have a gear where they can say, this person is not ready for what I'm about to do to them. So I gotta put it in reverse. Right? Some guys ain't like that, man. They figure you laying there, you ain't saying nothing, you cool with it. Because they haven't, as I was trying to tell Truth, I was trying to tell Rico, they haven't never seen a woman that's you have come together vibration wise to create this situation where you're going to have this a good time sexually, right? They haven't seen that. They haven't seen that in a woman, right? They don't know how to bring that out in a woman. They think a woman just being there, her just being there, that's it. That's her consent, just being around. Oh man. Take it from somebody who knows, man. No, you do not want to be with someone who's not in giving you consent. There's a reason to say, no, sir, your help comes from the Lord, and I am not he. Yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? But they tell you, that's what they tell you, Risa. They say, hey, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you. I just need your help. I just need your help. If you could just help me, and the next thing you know, they charging you with some kind of crime, right? You're like, wait a minute, I came here to help you, and now you put me in a jail. You put me in one of the orange jumpsuits. Never, ever, ever talk to the police. Never, ever, 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 ever. Always get your lawyer to do it. Always get your lawyer to do it. You got a better chance of walking away from whatever you did, or even if you did do it, at least getting it mitigated down to where it's reasonable, where you can take the punishment and still move on with your life. Because if you did wrong, punishment, you should expect to be punished for what you did wrong. But you shouldn't be cremated alive. You shouldn't have to have your whole life thrown away. You know what I mean? You should be able to be punished at a certain point. Now, if you're out there ARPing people, we can't have you out here, man. We got to put you away until you get to a point where if you can't control yourself, then we have to remove you from society. Because I got my granddaughter out here, man. And what I'm going to do to you if you do something to my granddaughter, you're going to be running. You're going to be wishing that the police had picked you up if I get to you first. Oh, man. But anyway, y'all got the message. Don't talk to the police. Not that the police are bad people, but they got a job to do. Their job is to try to get you to tell them stuff that they need to hear to be able to solve cases. Solving cases don't mean they got the right person. They just solved the case, right? Not necessarily, right? A lot of times they just want to solve the case. So you need to talk to your lawyer. Always talk to your lawyer. Always have your lawyer talk to the police for you. They leave that little card on your, at your job, or they doing that on purpose to scare you. I know. In Nation of Islam, I was in the Nation of Islam, been in the Nation of Islam for a long time. But when I was really, really active, I'm not as active as I was before. But when I was really active and I was holding a serious post out here in Los Angeles, I had an FBI agent that was following me everywhere I went for 2 years. This white boy followed me everywhere. And it's just like you seen on Goodfellas, where they sit outside in front of your house and they wave to you, and just like that. They want you to know they following you. They want you to know. They're in front of your house. They're in front of your house. They're in front of your school. They're in front of your auntie's house. They're in front of the mosque. They're in front of everywhere. This dude was following me around so much, man. I didn't see him. I'd be like, where is he? I wouldn't even get in the car because I didn't see him. I was like, what's going on? Why he ain't here? Then I realized, okay, some places they ain't follow me. They ain't follow me to the dojo. They ain't follow me some places they wouldn't follow me. But when I was going to the mosque, they was on it. Or they would just spend the night like this dude. He would be camped out in front of my house. So, but we never spoke. We never spoke to each other. He had a job to do, right? His job was to catch me involved in some craziness, right? That was his job. Take pictures of me, catch me, doing whatever, right? At the crack house or whatever I was supposed to be doing that was showing my hypocrisy, right? Anyway, as long as you out here, people gonna be trying to catch you up, and especially the police. They're just doing their job, so don't be all upset with them. They just doing their job. Their job is to catch you up and to solve. Their job is to solve cases. You know what I'm saying? To the best of their ability. If they catch the right person, they catch them. If they convict the wrong person, the case was solved. Their job is not to make sure they catch the right person. Their number one job is to solve cases. That's their number one job. All right, y'all. So we did it. We talked about a lot of different stuff, and we're gonna come back on Thursday real strong. I got to get out of here now, but we're gonna come back real strong on Thursday. Y'all be here, and if you want us to talk about a particular topic, hit me up on my email, and we can make it happen. All right, y'all. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Sister Reza, all of you guys that's in the chat, we appreciate you, man. Thank you guys for showing up on a Thursday. Preach.